Just when you're about to earn the title of the Honored One, the old fogies in the Martial Arts Alliance suddenly decide, that's not happening today. The only reason is that our boy had the gall to test his skills against both orthodox and unorthodox factions, making all of them look mid. Instead of admitting that he's the strongest, the entire alliance jumps him like he's the world's most wanted criminal. They cripple him and toss him aside. But that's not the end of the road for our boy. He's found by a kind-hearted girl whose solution to every problem is offering steamed buns. Though half dead and powerless, he takes up a job at her grandfather's agency, vowing to gain the power he lost and get a chance at vengeance against those old fogies. Will he be able to get his vengeance, or will he turn a new leaf and find something even more meaningful than power? The only dream he harbored was to become the strongest under the heaven, but tonight it looks like the sky weeps for his fate. Bodies litter every angle as he stands all alone, facing an army with a sword in his hand, wondering how it ended up this way. The leader tells Dako that he understands how he feels. Dako stares at him with cold eyes. He was the only one who was closest to becoming the strongest under the heaven, the Honored One. Dako tells the Lord to cut the bullfish. Why aren't they having a one-on-one duel? Does he really have any shame being the Lord of the Martial Alliance to jump him with his army? The Lord of the Murim Alliance just stares at him stone-faced. Dako grins. The Great Orthodox faction, which always talks non-stop about traditions, is nothing but a pack of chickens ganging up together against anything they can't understand. One of those dumb martial artists calls him a bastard, but the Lord stops him. The Lord agrees that, from his point of view, he must feel insane. He spent over a decade in secluded cultivation, and when he emerged, he had his own unique swordsmanship. He stood over everyone else as a pinnacle and defeated every hidden master one after another through one-on-one duels. He really is the Honored One. But in the world, martial arts are the most important thing, and he respects Dako's skill. The Lord clenches his fist, telling Dako that the crime he has committed is too big to overlook. He has been obsessed with measuring his strength, whether his opponent is from the orthodox or unorthodox faction, and that makes him nothing more than a beast. The path that he has walked has made him a public enemy of the martial arts world. Basically, Grandpa hates him for running the fade with everyone. You can just tell that Grandpa is a racist. The leader tells him not to be enraged. He will definitely get a peaceful rest over here. All of the martial artists zoom towards Dako as he readies his sword, ready to meet them head-on. They are all afraid that he will become the strongest under heaven. With a single swing of his sword, he dismantles all of them. His heart is set ablaze, and he zooms towards the ops one after another. The opponents are starting to panic that the public enemy is pushing through their defense lines. They really need to kill him. His body is already at its limit, but he tries to get to the place that he needs to carve a path for himself. He readies his sword using the 13 swords of Dako, 5th form. But before he can swing the sword, a lightning saber pierces his thigh, making him lose concentration. The Lord rushes in, palm outstretched. He is glad that he brought his men along. After all, they did a terrific job distracting Dako so that he could deliver the last blow. This dirty-covered grandpa doesn't have the balls to face him one-on-one, and then goes for a sneak attack as well. He uses Cloud Dragon's divine palm to strike the inner channels of Dako's energy, ripping him apart from the inside out and sending him flying off a cliff. As Dako falls through the air, he wonders about his life, how empty and pathetic it is. He just wanted to be acknowledged as the strongest one in heaven. What caused him to end up this way? He grits his teeth in frustration, promising that the Lord of the Murim will be cursed to death by him. And the Lord doesn't know that he has inadvertently created another Toji Fushiguro. 3 kids are running through the forest happily. They walk over to a shed, which is their secret base. They zoom in, and 2 kids are scared of the third. When they enter, they see Dako lounging like a squatter. Both of the kids lose their minds over the fearsome look in his eyes and run, shaking in their boots that there is a monster over there. The girl, on the other hand, calls them idiots because monsters aren't real. There are only adults who are broken. She then asks Dako why he is looking like that and hiding in a shed. Is he a thief or something? She crosses her hands smugly, asking why he is hiding. He guesses that she must be 10 years old. But noticing the caluses on her hand and the faint energy surrounding her, she must have learned martial arts. So is she from the wretch clan he hates? She looks away, and he tells her she's not a thief. He's just resting for a moment. She sighs in relief. That's good. She introduces herself as Crazy Sunai. He asks Sunai what continent they are in, and she reminds him that they're in a continent that is on the border of the 2 cities. And it's fortunate for him, because this area has no influence from the Murim clan. All of a sudden, his stomach starts to rumble. Sunai realizes that he's hungry and offers him a steamed bun, telling him it's delicious, and he can have a bite. He looks at the steamed bun and looks away, telling the child to eat it for herself. She doesn't insist anymore and tries to eat it, but looking at the succulent bun is enough to send him into an overdrive. His body starts grumbling, and Sunai wonders if he really doesn't have an appetite. The way he's looking at it is like the way a Discord mod looks at an e-girl stream. If he still wants half, he can have it. He juggles and takes her up on the offer. He eats it and finds it really good. He can tell her that he belongs to the Dakga clan. so he just comes up with a fake story about how he was caught stealing and he was hungry. Sunai is glad that he is not a bad person. She offers him a job at her grandpa's agency. Dako just gets up, saying he's not interested. He shows her out, telling her not to come here anymore. Sunai angrily grumbles that that's so mean. As she turns to leave, Dako realizes that his injuries are severe. He can't circulate his energy anymore because of that lousy Lord's Cloud Dragon Palm Fist. He promises to hit the Lord back with a Cloud Dragon Palm Fist in the place where the sun doesn't shine. But for now, the energy from the attack is scattering his own ki. To expel this energy, he needs someone who is a master. The Yin, Eccentric, is the greatest master of all time, but he is not sure if she will help him. He looks at the Ganesh running across his thigh and sighs. Later, he thinks about the child and is grateful for her help, but he is not going to be working as a potter. He's certain she won't come by anymore. But that's where he was wrong. She continues to drop by over and over again with steamed buns. She also has a pair of clippers, telling him that he needs a new lineup since everyone can recognize him. He doesn't want that, but he still agrees. After she's done, he looks like a mix between a homeless man and a drug addict. Looking at his reflection, he crashes out, but Sunai reminds him that he's a wanted man. This haircut won't draw attention to him. No one will look at him the second time. She promises to be back the next day, and Dako is surprised by her foresight. The next day, it's raining heavily. Sheppel is a medical ointment on his Ganesh. She also asks if he's really not going to work at their agency. Dako refuses. He's not going to work, but he promises that he won't starve even if he dies. She turns to leave, telling Dako that she won't be dropping by for a couple of days, and Dako also tells her that he'll be leaving. She doesn't need to anymore. This hurts her, and she purses her lips, but smiles sadly. She wanted to get him to work in the agency and wanted to know him better. As they leave, Dako finally gets up and looks at a clutch and a straw hat out by the door. The little girl Sunai thinks of everything. Later, Master of the Merchants is harassing an old dude, asking for a refund for all the goods. Sunai sits all alone in the rain, heart heavy like the clouds. Their agency is done for, and she can't do anything being a kid. All of a sudden, Dako arrives, asking why she looks so defeated. It looks like he'll get to repay the debt he had in this lifetime. Dako looks at the sky, saying that it looks like he'll get to repay his debt. The clouds start parting, revealing a ray of hope. He is looking at Sunai's tearful face. Sunai launches herself into his arms, sniffling, and the Master of the Merchants has said that the goods from their warehouse were stolen. It wasn't stolen during her escort, but while in storage, which is the ultimate humiliation for an escort agency. Dako raises an eyebrow, asking if she can show him the warehouse. They walk towards Blossom Agency, and two guards stand in front of the warehouse, asking what she is doing here with a beggar beside her. Being called a beggar is enough to rage bait Dako. How dare he call him, the absolute master, the sword demon, a beggar? Sunai just doubles down that he is a beggar who wants some grain, and she already got permission from Grandpa. The guards smile. Of course, their young manager is a kind-hearted person. She just waves at them, and Dako is surprised to learn that she is already a manager. She is the type of person that job agencies are looking for. When they ask for 20 years of experience for an entry role, he finds the little girl impressive, and she whispers, telling him to come this way. They enter the warehouse, and it is stocked with grain, weapons, and vases. They look through, and she realizes that the only thing that is missing is the most expensive red jade. The master gave them for safekeeping, and now it is gone. They need to cuff up the money. She latches onto Dako's robe, saying that a thief can only be caught by a fellow thief. He must have a decent chance of catching the guy. Dako, with a hint of annoyance, tells her to let go. Red jade is the most precious jewel used to make jewelry and accessories. Small volumes fetch high prices, so it is the perfect steal. The Plum Ball Awesome warehouse is centralized to make it easier to guard. It is unlikely that anyone broke through the front gate. It must have been swapped as an inside job. He starts investigating, looking for clues. He goes over the warehouse and listens from the floorboards. Sunai is amazed that Mr. is really amazing. He must be the king of thieves. Did he find anything? Dako realizes there are no signs of a break-in, so it must be an inside job. It is making it difficult to track down. He tells Sunai that it is possible that whoever wanted the red jade entered the warehouse in the first place. Sunai gasps. They inspect the goods when they receive them. How can it be stolen before inspection? They said the guards haven't left their post since day one, and from the goods that were loaded, they reached the warehouse safely. So anyone who wanted to steal it must have a small window of time. Dako tells Sunai that it is not only an inside job, but they must have collaborated with an outsider. There must be a variety of ways in which they could make the red jade disappear. Sunai has already checked, but there is no one. No one at the agency is bad enough to steal. He smirks, asking Sunai if she is saying that he is a bad person. Sunai quickly waves her hands around, telling Dako that he is the only exception. He did it because he was starving. Dako just smiles kindly. He is suspicious of the guy who showed up today, the fat merchant, calling himself Bosman. He also seemed less interested in finding the goods and more interested in getting compensation. Dako asks what kind of guy the merchant is. They mostly buy and sell high-end luxury items, or so she has heard. Dako compliments her on knowing her way around, even though she is a kid, and she just smiles. Their agency wouldn't run without her. Dako decides to start investigating right away to find out the location of the merchants. She thanks him for helping, and he just smiles. The night is dark, and Dako is walking around, slipping in and out of the stage like a shinobi. He jumps from rooftop to rooftop until he reaches the inner chambers, where that fat swine is laughing his head off that he has screwed the agency. His manager is praising him non-stop, telling him that all of the members of the Blossom Agency are very loyal. How did he get to have one of them snag it? The master laughs, telling the manager that he found someone desperate for money. Dako confirms his suspicions. The fatty created this whole drama so that the Blossom estate couldn't cough up the compensation money, and in 2 days, instead of compensation, the fatty will get hold of their real estate. He takes a sip of his seeing, and it runs down his disgusting triple chin. The manager wonders if they should also hire Ronan to pressurize them, but it looks like the fatty really has a brain instead of a lump of lard. He tells the manager that they can't force them into submission. After all, Vang, the second son of the family, is about to come, and he's already a high-level master. If they use Ronan, they'll give him an excuse to resort to violence. What they need to do is run politics. They will use the local government office to force them to cough up the estate. Dako wonders about Vang, and the manager wonders how he's handling the red jade. They plan to exchange it for 500 rolls of silk through a fence, which is a lot. Dako hates this bunch of scammers. This act ends today. The manager is escorted by a guard. They walk through the streets, and he's happy as hell that he's going to make it rich. The guard on the other end feels something is wrong and tells the manager they should leave for the day. After all, it's a half-creased moon. Bad luck. Just then, the bad luck he was talking about appears in front of them. Dako, the sword demon, is mistaken for a beggar by the manager, but the guard looks like he's about to piss his pants, though he can't feel any internal energy. The guy has an intimidating aura. He tells the manager to get aside, and the manager wonders what all the fuss is about. The guard's mind is racing. How can he approach Dako? Dako stands there as he zooms towards him, blade in hand and desperation in his eyes. Dako gets his sword stance ready and swings it, but surprisingly, no sword energy comes out of his body, courtesy of that sneaky cloud dragon fist. He dodges the guard's blow as he's yelling his head off. If only Dako could teach him that yelling doesn't mean power. This isn't Dragon Ball Z, but it looks like the guard knows his way around the sword. Too bad he's facing a sword demon. If his body were in perfect shape, he could have defeated this scum of the earth with a sneeze. Currently, he dodges all the attacks with precision and counterattacks by kicking him in the gut, stabbing him with his wooden cane, and bashing his head in to make him go night-night. The manager looks like he's about to piss his royal robes. He runs away and plants face first into the dirt. He asks Dako to spare him, and Dako asks if he's ready to have a serious talk. Screams echo through the night, scaring the birds away as Dako continues to hit him with his stick. The manager asks why the hell is he hitting him, even though he isn't a woman. Why is he getting hit with a domestic abuse DLC? Dako just looks at him with his stick over his shoulder. He believes in gender equality, and he teases the manager. That's right, he didn't tell the manager why he was hitting him. The manager starts crying, asking why he is getting hit. Dako asks for the location of the red jade, and the manager finally gets why he is being beaten black and blue. Did the Plum Agency plant him, or is he the infamous Wang, second son of the agency? Dako reminds him that he's the one who'll be asking the questions. He points his stick at the manager, whose face is already resembling a grapefruit. The location of the red jade or he'll get a full dental makeover. The manager, with tearful eyes, tells Dako that he'll just be killed if he reveals the location. Dako still doesn't budge, and the manager grits his teeth and decides to swallow his losses. They arrive at the Sang house. He brings out a pouch of red jades, saying it's all here. Dako confirms that it is full of those red precious stones. He then moves on to the next question as if it's a game show. Who was the one who contacted him? The manager starts yapping. There was an escort named Yang. He was borrowing money from them and didn't pay it back for a long time. Dako wonders if the guy asked to erase his debts in exchange for this insider info. The manager says it's quite the opposite. He asks for even more. He's a gambling addict. Dako decides to go check on this Yang guy and give him a taste of his stick as well. He then turns to leave, and the manager wonders if he really is banked from the Blossom Agency. Dako looks at him with fury, telling the manager that if he really wants to know, he'll have to die as a price, and does he still want to know? The manager waves his hands frantically, saying that he doesn't care who he is. Dako turns to leave, and the manager calls him a vicious bastard. How dare he take his red jades and his dignities? He grits his teeth, ready to teach that son of a gun a lesson for messing with the wrong person. He'll definitely find Dako and make him pay the big red jade back. Also, make him die a painful death. Little bro doesn't know that Dako is already behind him, burning with fury. It looks like the beating was insufficient, and he hasn't learned his lesson yet. Later, after laying the pipe all night, he hobbles back to his shed. He looks at the lights turned on from the inside and bashes the door, asking who is there. Turns out it's only Sunai resting on a pile of hay and asking how he's doing. He takes off his mask in surprise, asking what she is doing over here. She was just worried about him and snuck out. She looks at the wound on his leg, which is starting to bleed, and starts worrying about him. She asks him if he got hit somewhere. Was he trying to steal again? He angrily mutters what she is talking about. Later, she applies a healing salve to his thigh. Looking at the wound, Dako wonders why he is not surprised that she's out in the open. Aren't her parents worried? She reveals that she doesn't have parents. Her father died fighting bandits on an escort mission, and her mother never came to meet her. She went to get milk and never came back. Dako feels bad that this child has never seen a day of peace. She apologizes for asking so much of Dako, getting him into trouble. She promises to have her uncles check on the merchants, but just then, Dako throws her the pile of jade. She's telling her to check it out. She looks at her jade and really floods her face. With this, Dako has repaid her debt. She launches herself around his shoulders, thanking him and calling him Mr. Thief as well. Dako teases what's up with the thief's logo anyway. He tells her to hide it for a bit. There's something he needs to do before they take the red jade to the agency. The next day at the plum agency, Yang arrives. He doesn't know that he'll be getting the stick in a few hours. He smiles, saying that he has something to take care of, and goes out shopping. Dako is tailing him, realizing that he's their guy. They have to find out the truth. Soon I can't believe that Uncle Yang would sell them out. Dako also wonders why she is following him. It can be dangerous, but she wants to see it with her own eyes, whether it's true or not. After all, she also brought a steam bun. Dako notices Yang looking around and quickly shouts Sunai away. Sunai reminds Dako that he has to eat so that his wound can heal. They tail Yang, wondering where he is going, and sure enough, he arrives in a gambling den. They wonder if the doctor is in. Sunai is surprised to wonder why he is looking for a doctor in a gambling den. Is he going to sell his kidney or something? Later, Yang arrives with a pile of goods under his arm, coming up to his mom. He tells her that he needs to air the room, and she shouldn't skip medicine. He has it all. She's been suffering so much and would have died already if not for Yang. She wonders if she should just pass over. Yang angrily yells that they can finally treat their illness. He got the money to buy the elixir. The mother wonders where he got that kind of dough. He tells her that he saved from his hard work at the agency, but she yells how he can save money when he was in debt to the merchants. Yang wonders if the bastards came to his house. He shouldn't worry as it's already handled. Just then, he gets slapped across the face. His mother asks him to reveal the truth. Did he get something bad for the money? How could he repay the money? Yang tries to clear the air that it's not like that, but her mom is not buying any of his bullfish. He is walking down the wrong path, and if that's the case and if she's the reason, then it's better if she dies. She's about to stab herself with her hairpin, and Yang tells her to stop. But she doesn't stop. She yells that she has lived a poor but honest life, full of honor. She should die so he can return the money and beg for forgiveness. Just then, Sunai arrives. The old woman quickly hides the hairpin, asking if she is Master Wang's granddaughter. She sounds respectful, saying, looking at the silver, and telling her that it's from her grandfather. He heard that she was ill and sent it, and also these steamed buns. She's packed enough for them to share. Since Yang seems so troubled lately, the woman starts crying. She always knew that the master was generous, but to donate such a large sum, the little girl tells her that Yang worked his butt off. He is crucial for the agency, and the woman finally smiles, grabbing the girl and thanking her over and over again. Yang also starts crying. Guilt and regret were written all over his face. With just a couple of steamed buns, she has bought his lifelong loyalty. Dako wonders why she butt in, when he would have paid for his crimes. She just finds it too sad that grandma would have died. Dako wonders if she resents him, but she does. Her grandfather treated him well all these years, and yet he betrayed them. Also, Yang is essential for the agency. He is the bravest escort at the agency. That's why she wanted to give him a chance. Dako teases her that she also gave his steamed buns away. She apologizes, promising to make it up once they get to the agency. Dako tells her to go back to the agency and wait. The merchants are coming for the payment tomorrow. They should get ready. There's someone else he's supposed to return to. Dako wants to see if they can really trust the bravest escort of the agency, Yang. He is the one who got them into the mess, and he is going to be the one who will get them out. Even if it costs his life, he will get back the chain. With determination written all over his face, he walks towards the merchant agency. On his way over there, he comes by Dako, who is talking to himself while peeing on a tree. He's wondering why they make him do a dirty job like fencing stolen goods. But after all, it is some expensive jewels, red jade or whatever, so he wonders if he should just take it and run. Looks like Dako plans to test Yang's resolve by pretending to be one of the merchant escorts. Just then, Yang unsheathes his blade, holding it over Dako's head, asking if he belongs to the merchant group and if he should hand over the goods right now. Dako wonders if he really wants to run the fade, knowing that he belongs to the merchant group. After all, those who lay their hands on another person's property lose their hands and still want to go through. Didn't his mommy teach him better? Yang yells, asking what the hell does he know about his mommy. He is going to try to set things right. Just then, he is about to reach for the jade, but Dako throws him off with his stick. He cups up a globule of blood, Dako reminds Yang that he is going to get hurt pretty badly if he doesn't give up. He should just keep walking and mind his own business. But Yang yells that he doesn't care if he dies. He needs those jade. He readies his sword again, and Dako decides to give him a condition. If he can survive 1,000 strikes from his stick, he can get the jade and get out of here. Looks like our boy really loves using his stick like that. At this point, he is just doing it for the love of the game. Yang tells him to stop screaming with him and come clean. But just then, Dako hits him with his stick once, then twice, then thrice. The night continues to darken as screams fill the mountainside. At the Plum Agency, Yang presents the bag of jade to the master. Looks like he really took those 1,000 strikes. He decides to reveal everything, what he has done, how he braided the hand that fed him. And instead of running away, he still came back. The master is amazed. He bows his head, apologizing that he saved his mom through dishonest means. But now he knows better and would never disrespect her ever again. The master tells Yang to stand proud, for he is honest. He thanks him for coming back, and there is no need to speak about this matter any further. He still insists that it's his fault. The master should just kill him and restore order in the agency. But the master yells if he dies, who will look after his ailing mother? Does he want to be a disloyal son to the bitter end? They have been through a lot over the decade. Does Yang even remember all the missions he has been on? 32 times he risked his life on the front lines, and now he wants the agency to take his life over a single mistake. He remembers the kind of man Yang used to be, the one who was not afraid of death, who helped his comrades, and was like family. Yang is moved by his master's words, crying his eyes out. The old man gently applies healing salve on his face. His mother is no different from them, and it looks like the master has been too indifferent to his employees. He apologizes for that, promising not to be like Jeff Bezos. He will definitely take better care of his employees. Yang bows respectfully, promising to give up his life for his master. The master sighed. He is still being a disloyal son. As his first order, he needs to survive till the bitter end and protect the agency with all he's got. With tearful eyes, Yang agrees. Later, the master looks at some plans for tomorrow. Just then, Sunai comes up and starts massaging his shoulders, asking why he is stiff. He just laughs, saying that he is clearing his head. The little girl is adorable, massaging her grandpa's shoulder. She saw Uncle Yang leave in tears, and what happened? The master reveals everything that happened, and nothing bad is going to happen to him. He will make sure of it. Sunai smiles. The grandpa also mentions Yang mentioning her, and how, with a bunch of steam buns, she resolved the issue with his mom. How did he get caught in the first place? And how did Sunai know where to find him? It's not that he is trying to blame him, but he needs to know. Sunai is troubled. She reveals that her friend helped him. When Grandpa wants to know who the friend is, she can't reveal it because of her promise. She can't even trust her own grandpa. After all, he is the one who taught her not to go against her word. As his student, she can't tell him. He just laughs, calling her a rascal, and he should have known that she was as stubborn as he, being his granddaughter, but he really wants to repay the benefactor. Sunai looks away and decides to reveal his name after he leaves. That way, she can still keep her promise. The grandpa then tells Sunai to bring Master Jin and her uncle over here. She sprints in high spirits, and the grandpa looks at her. Later, the second son, Wang, is crashing out. How dare the agency try to make a fool out of them and take over their estate? The master tells him there's no need to resort to violence anymore. He's got an ultimatum from the merchant agency once again. They'll be coming tomorrow to collect the debts, and that's when they will settle the score. They still don't know that they have lost the red jade. The master reveals that while talking with Sunai, he has learned that someone is helping her from the outside. That fat swine is a man who has planned this whole charade for a long time to take over their agency, but his plan was dismantled far too easily. It looks like a grandmaster is helping her, and if they assume that, then the whole situation makes sense, and it's a heaven-sent blessing. He wants them to find out who the person is. Since he'll be leaving tomorrow, they can't let him leave without any compensation. He also asks the manager to send the best doctor they have to Yang's house, and also to investigate all of the employees and their families. The whole incident is his fault, and he'll take better care of his people. Later, Dako is sitting all alone. Just then, he smiles, looking at the clutch, as Sunai burst into the room with a handful of steamed buns, saying that the red jade is back at the agency. She thanks the master for everything he's done, and he just smiles. She then presents him with 2 steamed buns while crying. Dako laughs. She really is a kind girl. As the sun starts to rise, Fetty and his gang arrive, ready to settle the score. Dako is waiting for them in the shadows, calling him a despicable fat bastard. The manager is huffing from exhaustion. He still hasn't recovered after getting diddied the entire night. They arrive at the mansion, and the fat swine is already dreaming of hanging his name over the Blossom Estate board. He tells the manager to chase sharp until the very end. The Blossom Agency is about to be in their hands. The manager feels confident and better, but just then he notices a staff with speckles of blood on it. It immediately triggers his PTSD the entire night when he was beaten with the stick. His heart is racing. That's the expression I see from my girl when she looks at my Woody under the hoodie. Fatty tells everyone to go all in, and they arrive standing face to face with the master of the Blossom Estate. Fatty tells them to get on their knees and beg for forgiveness. Only then will they be able to get away. After handing over the entire estate, they should all know what happens to an escort agency that loses its credibility. Just thinking about the estate is making his mouth water. He really is a fat, greedy swine. The master tells everyone not to underestimate them, but Fatty tells them not to be shameless. First, they've lost his precious goods, and now they are trying to act tough. Do they have no shame? Wang, wearing full armor, calls him a bastard and tells him to leave, just like he arrived with nothing in his hand. Fatty looks like he's about to have a heart attack when he looks at Wang. He wasn't expecting such a strong man to be here, but no matter. Wang can do nothing in front of the government. Just then, officials arrive, swarming the estate from every corner. The captain, who is close with Fatty, looks at him and tells him to be quiet. Fatty tells them to take the opportunity to tear the Blossom Estate apart from the inside out. Wang realizes they have used the authorities. It's always the cops that get them. That's what the master also predicted. The official tells them to line up. The Blossom Agency is suspected of doing dishonest practices and also taking the merchants' assets for themselves, and according to the official investigation, they are to be arrested. Anything they say can be held against them in a court of law. The master reminds them that an escort agency is strictly in the domain of the martial arts. They have no reason to comply with the unjust government order. The captain reminds Wang of who he is dealing with. They know that he is a distant relative of Lord Wang, the governor of Kaifeng. Is he really going to drag his good name through the mud like that? Hearing his relative's name is about to start another feud, he yells that they have nothing to be ashamed of under the heavens. The captain, on the other hand, deserves punishment for siding with those sleazy merchants. The captain yells, is he really threatening a government official? He tells his men to arrest them at once, but looking at Wang's big sword is enough to knock some sense into them. After all, size does matter when it comes to swords. He promises to cut down anyone who takes another step forward. The captain yells how dare he draw a sword against a government official. Does he really think he'll get away with that? Master reminds the captain that he is immediately stopping an unjust arrest. That's when Sunai makes an appearance with the red jade. She strides through with confidence and hands the jade to the captain. Looking at the jade is enough to shake both the captain's and the fatty's confidence. The fatty squeals like the little swine he is. Sunai crosses her arms. Is he surprised when he should be happy that his precious jade is found? The captain looks like he's going to murder Fatty in 4 different dialects of violence. Fatty apologizes now that the goods are here. He guessed that they should be on their merry way. The master yells, does he really think he can come and go as he pleases? He stole his own goods, hoping to get compensation in the form of their estate. He reveals that the red jade came from the merchants themselves. Fatty looks like he's sweating in his rolls. He tells them that they recovered the very item they lost, and they don't have any proof. Yang struggles to keep himself calm. This is all happening because of his own hubris. He wants to step up, but Sunai gently holds his hand, telling him to stay still. Her friend told him he shouldn't make a move. The manager, on the other hand, is having another episode of the stick. He calls Dako a son of a gun, remembering how he fingered his entire body at the pressure points. He also told the manager to listen carefully. The pressure point technique will make him lose his life in 5 days. If he does what he is told, he can survive. Remembering that night of violation is enough to have the manager be an obedient little dog. He brings out the certificate, saying it's proof that the agency is in the clear and the merchants stole the goods, aiming to get compensation. They even made a contract to sell the red jade. The captain grits his teeth in frustration, looking at Fatty. Fatty yells that their contract is fake. He snatches it away, calling him crazy, and decides to tear it away. But before he can blink his eye, he loses his hands. No way will he be able to stuff his face full of food anymore. Just then, Wang zooms away, blade in hand. He's cut off the fatty's hand. After all, it's only natural to cut the hands of a scammer. If that's the rule they're going by, then the entire population of India would lose their hands. He then turns his attention to the captain, handing him the bill. Fatty under the hand yells, telling the captain to kill that bastard who stands before them. After all, the captain took a bribe from him, and he should be worth the money. The captain would rather die than go down with Fatty. He tells his guards to arrest Fatty and haul him away to a prison cell. Wang hopes that the case will be handled fairly. If not, they will report every detail to their authority, Mr. Wang. Sunai tells the governor not to forget who he is. They turn to leave and leave the entire state behind, while Dako crouches below, looking at them suffer their losses. As he turns to leave, Sunai rushes towards him, telling him not to go with tearful eyes, pleading in desperation. Sunai latches onto Dako, pleading with him not to go. She hid him so very well. Dako just smiles, his face softening at the little girl and her honesty. He tells her to stay healthy, and if fate wills, they'll meet again. Just then, the master arrives, looking at his benefactor. They both look at him in surprise. He heard about him from Sunai. Why did he help them? It could have been really dangerous for him. Dako covers his face with his straw hat, telling the man that he's not sure what he's talking about. The master reminds Dako that an ordinary agency has survived in this long and harsh world of Jinghu. As its master, how can he fail to recognize an extraordinary person? Even if he has the lineup of a beggar, Dako tells the master that he's nothing but a common thief. He was just repaying his debt to her. He didn't do it for a reward, so the master shouldn't be concerned. Just then, the little girl is violently shaking her head, saying that she didn't say he was a mere thief. Dako grits his teeth. It looks like he messed up with his cover story. The master wonders about him being a thief, because he's a man who keeps his word even to a child. He finds it hard to believe that he's someone who would steal without a good reason, and that's why their agency needs a man of his talents. Will he lend them his strength? Dako reminds the master that he's a wanted man. The master tells him not to worry. If he wishes, he can disguise his identity as a relative from his mother's side. He will also get a chance to repay his debt. Dako is taken aback by how wonderful this family is. Sunai gently holds his hands, tears pooling in her eyes. She pleads with the master to come with them. Dako is troubled. He has known the way of the sword since the day he was alive. He asks for a day to consider it. Later, he walks through the street. It's a quiet village untouched by the currents of the continent. It's good that this place doesn't fall under the rule of the Martial Art Alliance. The chances are high that no one will recognize him. He can live his life in silence. Even the wanted posters show only pictures of Nappa, the infamous Siam. He believes that the Alliance thinks that he's dead. It's a miracle that he's alive after all. Taking that hit from the Alliance Lord's proud Cloud Dragon palm fist, his external wounds are on the other side, but it's a problem to heal his internal injuries. The energy from the Cloud Divine Path is blocking his ki. The flow in his inner circuits is all over the place, and his dention is completely empty. It's normal to say that he's nothing more than a civilian right now. Well, a hungry civilian has a grumbling stomach. He notices a kid buying a steamed bun and eating it with relish. Dako smiles, looking at his innocence. Even though he can't swing a sword anymore, he still wants to live a better life. Just then, a whole brigade is walking around, yelling that someone injured a government official and fled. They need to find him. Dako snoops around, wondering where this is going. Looks like they're not looking for Dako. The manager is also by his side. Looking at Dako is enough to refresh the night he met the Didi of Shanghai. The manager realizes that Dako is the one who took the red jade. He tells the manager to quietly follow him. Just then, he takes the manager to a secluded corner, asking him how he recognized Dako when he covered his face. The manager is trembling and against a wall. Those clothes, and more importantly, that staff are enough to trigger every survival instinct in him. He did what he said in front of the officials. Dako praises him for holding up the throat, but why is he running away? The manager yells that the pressure technique he used on him. He doesn't have much time. He thought he was going to die during the investigation, so he ran away to find him. He pleads with Dako, dropping to his knees, asking him to release the pressure point where he was hit. Dako looks at the manager, drops to his knees, and smiles, holding out 2 fingers deviously, saying he's never broken a promise. Just then, the manager gets fingered again and again, but this time, instead of pain, relief floods through. The pressure point he used has been released. The manager whimpers that he's curious. Also, Dako leans closer, asking how many people they have scammed all this time. The manager reminds Dako that he only did what the fat bastard told him to, but Dako says that he still has to pay for his crimes. He brings out 2 fingers once again and hits him right in the throat. He then rummages through his coin purse and realizes that the manager is broke as beans. He also wonders, as the sword demon, what the hell is he doing, saving an agency, violating an old manager, and going through his coin purse, if he keeps running around being broke, and he won't be able to do anything. He's also worried about the crybaby, who thinks that every conflict can be resolved with steamed buns. Speaking of the crybaby, she's snoring happily in the manager's arms. The master is brooding about what they should do. He tucks her in and then goes back to the estate, lighting up a candle and praying to his ancestors. He remembers seeing Dako. It looks like Sunai has really grown attached to Dako. He really resembles her father a lot after all. Back at the estate, Dako is looking around. He heard that trainee escorts have to go through an evaluation, and here he is already in his new threads. Why did Sunai give him a chance without even evaluating it? Sunai, on the other hand, is looking adorable, telling him that he passes just because he is her friend. Does the future of the estate look good since she already supports nepotism? He wonders why she's excited as she runs around him in circles. It's because her friend is at the agency. She also wonders where his crutches are. Is he all better now? He just smiles. Thanks to Sunai's care, he's perfectly healthy. Sunai sighs in relief, telling him to follow her so that she can introduce him to the agency. She shows him the grounds, the people, and the employees, and also what he's supposed to do as she carries a heavy crate all on her own. The little girl is full of life, and Dako smiles. They then arrive at an arena where Master Wang is training. He is built like a truck on steroids, grabbing his blade and practicing his swings. His swings are sharp. Sunai wonders if her uncle is cool. poor girl doesn't know that she is talking to the sword demon. She says that her uncle is the strongest in their village. Even Dako acknowledges that Wang is strong, and the scars look like they came from a sword-cut wound. He asks about the scar, and Sunai reveals he got it while fending off bandits in a green forest, the ones that took her father as well. Dako apologizes for asking something insensitive, but she tells him that it doesn't matter. What matters is that her uncle has vowed to pay them back 1,000-fold. They decide to get a move on. She introduces him to her other uncle. This is Uncle Jiang, captain of the escort agents, and he will teach Dako the work. Dako calls himself Mong, a training escort. Her uncle Jiang is a short king with biceps bigger than a man's head. He could easily pass for a dwarf. They are short-staffed, so he has come at the perfect time. Sunai waves excitedly, running away and telling Uncle Jiang to treat her friend well. He promises to take special care of Dako. He heard from the agency that a new friend was coming in. He tells Dako that he is taller and more handsome than he expected. Dako thanks him and the dwarf still looks at him expectantly, asking, and looks like Lil Bro is fishing for compliments. He even elbows him with a hint of annoyance. He tells Captain Jiang that he is even cooler, and Jiang laughs, telling Dako that he has an eye for people. He should call him Big Bro. This dude is really enforcing stereotypes about short kings. He's even patting Dako on the shoulder. Dako wishes that he were the guy he used to be. He would have cut this man's tongue and hand off. Jiang also notices how well built he is. Dako decides to endure it for now as he leads him towards the agency. Lil Bro is even yapping about how Dako might be handsome, but he is the handsomest of them all. They decide to go easy on him on his first day since it'll take him some time to get used to things. In the next few days, he'll learn how to help out with the agency's internal affairs. Jiang gives him a book about how to be an escort. The book was created by a master. It holds everything he needs to know about doing his job well. The agency's manual has been made by one of the best masters, and if he goes through it, he'll be able to work at any escort agency in the province. Since he is expected to learn the official manual, he has to take the official agent exam as well. It won't be easy, but it takes a smart guy about half a month. Jiang laughs, promising to teach him how to carry out his job for an hour or two every day. Before they can continue with the bromance, something catches their eye. Someone is complaining that she has to prepare food for 80 people in less than 2 hours. The guy apologizes, saying that the Dragon Spring agency is coming in for an important meeting, and they're an important client. Jiang arrives, asking what's going on. The chef reacts that 80 people from the Dragon Spring Gate are coming to eat in 2 hours, and they've all specified their dishes as well. How can he prepare all of this in 2 hours? They're short on manpower, ingredients, and patience. The assistant apologizes, promising to bring the missing ingredients. The escort agents have checked the inventory, and all are already headed towards the market. The Lord is also counting on the chef. The chef realizes it's a direct request from the Lord. Dako chimes in, saying there is not only a meal, but it looks like Dragon Gate is evaluating if the Blossom Agency can be trusted with a commission by how quickly they can get the ingredients, and if they can pull through to keep their promise. The chef has her spirits reignited. The chef grabs his blade, asking for Dako's name. Dako introduces himself as Monk, and the chef yells he'd better help out in the kitchen since all of his assistants ran away, with a face cut of a gorilla, and the attitude of one as well. No wonder the assistants ran away. He escorts Dako to a warehouse full of fresh produce, telling him to move quickly. Dako is ticked off if it's fast that she walks. He'll be faster than Wally West. Zhang and the assistant look at them. They hang their heads, realizing that Dako won't last through the day. The chef is famous for making all the assistants run away on the second day, since his crankiness is on a whole new level. What they don't know is that the chef has finally met his match, the sword demon who is walking around the kitchen like a speedster. He's actually fast and manages to grab all the ingredients in record time. The chef reminds Dako that he's going to start cooking and asks him what his name is. All he needs to do is run the kitchen knife. Can he do that? It's like asking a sharpshooter if they can use a water gun. He looks at the kitchen knife, and the chef tells him not to worry about the shape of the veggies. He just needs to slice it as fast as possible. With each swing, Dako dissects the blades with clinical precision. The chef is sweating in his boots. He never expected his apprentice to be faster than him. He's forced to wonder if he's a legendary chef like Gordon Ramsay in his past. The chef is falling behind in speed, but that's good. He's fired up. The cooking is getting done. The rice is fried, and so is he. He looks at Dako slicing the veggies while in flow state. He really wants to claim Dako as his assistant, and Dako is probably imagining the chef's face along with Dako's while slicing those veggies. The chef looks at Dako, cutting through the veggies with surgical precision. The veggies don't stand a chance in front of the sword demon. His movements are barely visible. He teleports around the kitchen, holding ingredients and leaving the chef in the dust. The mission was important from the start, but a masterpiece of a dish is being created, something that even Gordon Ramsay couldn't dream of. After all, he has the world's greatest assistant on his side. He's fired up to create the best dish ever. He looks at Dako, cutting through cucumbers in flow state. Laughing, he tells Dako that he really likes him. From now on, Dako should call him brother. Dako stares at him, telling him that he'll do that from now on, calling him Brother Zhang. He also tells the chef to speed it up a little, he's falling behind. The chef laughs. Not in 20 years of his career has he been told that he's falling behind. It's time to finish this mean dinner date. He's grilling rice while Dako is chopping up veggies. Soon, they're finally done, and the chef tells the Dragon Spring bastards to come up and eat their fill. He laughs hysterically, looking at the grand buffet laid before them. Later, Dako walks through the corridors and meets up with the master. He looks away in surprise as the master tells him to come over here. Dako wonders why the agency leader called for him. The manager explains that he heard how amazing he was in the kitchen. He's been a great asset since day one. Thanks for his help and his dedication, the sect will be able to get business with the Dragon Sect. Dako bows his head, sheepishly saying that Brother Zhang did everything else. All he did was slice a couple of veggies. The master laughs, telling Dako not to sell himself short. He's giving credit for his own achievement to others, and it looks like he really is an amazing person. The master brings out a bag of coins from his robe, saying that the pouch contains coins equivalent to 1 silver. It's 3 months of wages as an apprentice career. He's prepared an advisor. Dako can take care of his expenses. Dako looks at the coin pouch in surprise. What if he takes the money and runs away? After all, he was branded as Mr. Thief over here by a very cute little gremlin. The master laughs, telling Dako he's free to do so if he wishes, but Dako isn't the type of person to run away. He looks at the coin in conflict, then accepts it gracefully. He also asks the agency master something about the portrait. He turns his attention to a portrait of a handsome and kind-looking man who kind of resembles Dako. That is the master's first son, Sunai's daddy, and Dako is told that this man resembles Dako a lot. Dako realizes that this fellow is the little lady's father who didn't get to age. She also grew up without a mother, and losing her only father was enough to plunge her into despair. The grandfather remembers Sunai eating steamed buns next to the portrait. They can't imagine how much she must miss her parents. Sure enough, Sunai would fall asleep by the portraits every day, and Grandpa would come and carry her to her bed. Dako realizes this is the reason why she follows him around. She sees her dead father in him. She tells Grandpa that she's a strong child and will get through it sooner. Sunai has been spending her days watching and learning everything she can about math. She is the greatest joy of the agency. Presently, Sunai is organizing the warehouse to make the workflow somewhat better. The master shakes his hand. It's already been 10 days since he joined the Plum Agency. He's unable to use inner energy right now because of his beatdown, but he can still use external energy. That much is evident in his training. He's a courier who uses special physical strength that is perfect for martial arts training as well. Besides, his brawny transformation is going through smoothly. He even has a demon back at this point. Each muscle has muscles of its own. A voice tells him that he's strong for a newcomer. He turns to see who told him. They're surprised by him picking up 2 barrels. If he were in his prime with inner energy, he could pick up tens of thousands of barrels. After all, he's built like a tank. His abs are attached to other abs. He imagines himself carrying 10 times harder a load and getting 10 times more pay. He's used to pushing his body to the extreme to train his mental health. Later, he sets down the wares. Bro asks if he's 30. A weak boy smiles, heading him a bamboo cup full of water. This is Song, another porter. Dako then wants to learn something. The boy decides that it's time to call it a day since their quota is met thanks to Dako. He looks at Dako, marveling at him, ready to glaze him. He wonders if he can become as strong as Dako if he works hard. Song is the youngest porter at the agency, who doesn't have a built for carrying heavy stuff. As the job requires strength, he really wants to become like Dako. But instead of being stocky, he has long arms and a flexible frame ideal for boxing. Dako tells him that if he starts building stamina, and if he sees potential in Song, then he will call him Potential Man and teach him some techniques. The boy is surprised and looks away while whistling. The boy goes out for strength training. Meanwhile, other kids arrive, calling to Sunai, saying that the kids from the next village are bullying them. Sunai arrives. How dare they start a turf war? She rushes away with her buddies, and Dako looks at them with a mixture of curiosity and amusement. Looks like he will have to beat someone up. They rush forward and finally see one guy being beaten black and blue. Sunai yells at them to stop, and the other kids are confident in her ability to take them down, since she is a martial artist. But what they don't know and what she has realized is that the other guy is also a martial artist. The boy calls himself Gok of the Dragon Spring. He remembers her being the kid from the Plum Agency. Now isn't that right? Sunai looks at the boy being tormented and yells, "How dare they come into their hood to cause a street? This is a turf war." Gok just smiles, asking why he is calling him a bully. They are merely teaching them the ways of the orthodox faction. Now they will learn the fine art of the dragon fist when it enters their body. That sentence alone can land him in jail for 5 years with DD. Gok punches the kid over and over again, and Sunai rushes in to save him, telling him to stop, but Gok wouldn't listen. He reminds her that if she touches a single strand of hair on his head, The relationship between the Dragon's Spring and the Plum Agency will deteriorate. She finally knows her situation, and now he will take the opportunity to let her kneel and crawl as the insolent worm she is. He spreads his legs ready to let her crawl, and all of his lackeys are grinning, laughing like snot-nosed brats. Everyone looks at Sun-ai, holding their breath, waiting for her decision. She is the young mistress of the agency, and she can never kneel. Kneeling would be the same as the agency kneeling. She smirks. Looks like the future of the Dragon's Gate is darker indeed. For the sect leader's son to bully children with such half-assed martial arts. The surprise is gawk. What is she talking about, dark futures? Sun-ai tells her that for a guy like him to be the successor of the sect is like a slap across his face. If he becomes the Dragon Gate's successor, the dragon in their name won't be a dragon but a worm. This infuriates gawk. How dare she call him out on his insecurities? He clenches his fist, ready to show him the Wolf-Fang fist. Sun-ai, on the other hand, wonders when she insulted him. She is just expressing her concern for the Dragon sect. Gawk has had enough of that smart mouth. He rushes in, ready to give her a dental makeover. Sun-ai stands her ground, telling the boy that he has struck first. Now he is responsible for what's about to happen, but the fist never conducts. It stops a few inches away from her face. Someone has grabbed his fist. Someone with calloused hands and muscles the size of watermelons. It turns out Dako the bagger has arrived with his shy stay. When the boy wonders who he is, Dako introduces himself as a passing uncle. The boy angrily yaps. Does he know who he is? Can he handle the consequences? Dako raises his eyebrow. No way this not-nosed kid is putting on hot air in front of the sword demon. Is there even any reason they should know each other? He grabs his wrist and can probably snap it like a Twinkie. The boy starts squealing in pain, and Dako tells the boy that if he wishes to bully others in the future, he should remember this pain. He then throws the boy several meters away, giving him the Yamcha treatment. His lackeys ask his brother if he is okay. Brother, on the other hand, decides to lick his wounds and retreat with his tail behind his legs. Really just smiles. But the boy is far from done. At the Dragon's Spring Gate, the elder is sitting in his throne room. He can't believe that his son was beaten by a little girl in the park. This is Big Gawk, leader of the Dragon clan. The boy nervously says that he wasn't beaten by the girl but by a masked man. The leader yells at his son to shut his filthy mouth. The process doesn't matter. He fled in his red clothes. That means that the agency girl got the victory over their clan. Gawk apologizes to his father again. Fire Lord Gawk walks closer to him. They cannot let their sect be the livestock. He leans closer, giving massive Zuko and Fire Lord wides. Even if his father is cruel, the boy shouldn't be hurt by this. But he should do everything he can to regain his honor. As he leans closer, he asks his son how his injured arm is. The boy nervously says that it hurts, but the bone is fine. The leader of the Dragon says, "How dare a man from the Plum Blossom Escort Agency break his daughter's arm?" He is calling his son a daughter to make him ashamed. He raises 2 fingers, cloaking them with a key, saying that this broken arm will serve as their evidence to march on to the Blossom Agency. With a single strike, he shatters the bone, leaving the boy writhing in pain. He just smiles maniacally. Dako, on the other hand, is trying to rummage his brain for anything about the Dragon's Spring Gate. He is doing push-ups and drills, wondering about their influence in the borderlands. Gawk, the little snot-nosed worm, is supposed to be the son of the leader. He must have had training, yet his internal energy was mediocre at best. It was weird that he was so cruel and vicious as a little brat. He was aiming for the other kids' vital points, but they do say that a child is a mirror of their parents. He hears someone giggling in the corner, saying that uncle was really cool. Dako just smiles, looking at Sun-ai, putting on a shy act of her own, waving her fist frantically, and enacting his heroic rescue from earlier. Dako wonders how the little girl recognized him when he was wearing a mask. She just smiles. She can recognize him from a million people, but the other kids won't know that it was him. She was also worried that the Dragon String might come for revenge. Dako tells her that the bone is fine. It's only minor bruising in the muscle. He also asks Sun-ai to promise him not to jump into dangerous situations and to get help from adults. Sun-ai smirks, promising to do that. She also likes it when he worries about her. They complete the vow with a pinky swear. She also wonders if Dako has heard about the special training period this time around. The partners are talking about it. The first place one will get to become an elite porter, and if Dako can become an elite porter, his wages will skyrocket. He can also get command over a couple more porters. Dako's eyes sparkle with determination. Forget being the sword state and being the strongest under heaven. He is going to rhyme the corporate letter and be a manager. Sun-ai smiles. She needs to become an escort as well, so she has decided to give Dako a gift. Soon she falls asleep on top of Dako, and Dako just smiles, continuing his push-ups. The next day, trouble arrives, knocking in the robes of red. The leader tells the agency that they will pay the highest price for damaging his son's arm. Dako looks at the clan talking to the master. The man says that Springgate demands to settle debts for the incident that happened with the agency. First, they must investigate what happened to identify the culprit who broke his son's arm. Dako remembers leaving the arm fine when he ran away. How can it be broken? Something smells bullfish. The man then asks for a formal apology from the agency head and his granddaughter. The master agrees that he understands what happened. He asks the Plum Agency to step forward. The two agencies then handle escorts. For investigation and criminal punishment regarding his son, they should file a report with the magistrate. And for his second request, he turns to Tsunai to speak up. Did she do anything to the young master that needs an apology? Tsunai claps back that she didn't do anything wrong. If anything, the Dragon Gate bullied her friends first. Given the circumstances, they cannot fulfill any of his requests today. The man just smiles. There seems to be a misunderstanding. He is not here to see his son get an apology. He will be getting that apology as the leader of the Dragon Gate. His son told him that a child from their agency had insulted their sect. He cannot simply overlook an insult and direct mockery at his clan. Tsunai burst out, that's a lie. She never insulted the Dragon Gate. She was just pissed at the young master's bad behavior. The leader takes her words out of context. Nothing if she's saying that his son is a liar and a dirty scumbag. It sounds like she's mocking the Dragon Gate again. He asks his son to tell them what happened, and the son puts on an Oscar-winning performance. What he heard is definitely insulting their gate. The kid cursed the future of the Dragon Clan. That's what he felt. Tsunai yells that everyone saw and heard his verbal abuse and violence. The boy tells her to shut up. Tsunai is so pissed that she is hissing like a feral cat. Grandpa tells her that's enough. He asks the sect leader if they want to resolve this. Since their positions are so different and no solution is in sight, there's only one common solution in the world of martial arts. The leader bows. Looks like the Blossom Agency is challenging their clan to a duel. Dako starts sweating in his boots, and the master yells that they didn't hint at a duel. The duel is way too extreme for a child's squabble, but the leader insists it's not extreme, it's appropriate. Both children will become pillars of their respective agencies, and he believes the duel will be a good opportunity to teach them the weight of their actions. Later, young Master Vang faces the representative from the clan On, captain of the Soul Severing Squad. Yoon smiles. It looks like the agency must care deeply about him. He's heard that they requested this duel to be private. Vang says he assumed it was to save Dragon Gate's face. They immediately rush forward towards each other, blade in hand and determination in their eyes. Each flash sends sparks flying everywhere. He deflects the blow effortlessly. Young Master realizes that this is Captain On's swift sword technique. The leader agrees that this is the main pillar of their sword style, and if they focus on Vang's defense, they can see that he is just a few seconds away from missing a limb. Sure enough, Ian is overpowering Vang with a series of strikes, each one aimed at a vital point. But instead of panicking, Vang is laughing. They decide to end it right now, and Ian uses Dance of Mad Winds and Clouds to create a tornado around him, siphoning its energy towards his strike, and Vang just deflects it as if it's nothing. For a master of the Dragon Spring Gate, he expected more out of him. He uses Shadow Dance Sword Art third form. His eyes blaze with energy, and he swats Ian away, leaping into the air and using ninth form to overpower the comeback until his blade is just a few inches from his face. To perform martial arts of the Dragon Gate, he has learned much. It's clear that On has lost. The master still tries to smooth things over with the leader, saying that their sect is incredibly talented in martial arts, and their agency just won by luck. Looks like the outcome is settled. The Plum Agency only wants to clear the misunderstanding between them and nothing more. The leader tries to save face, saying that it's their defeat. They will not speak of this matter again. They turn to leave, and the man asks Tsunai for her name. Tsunai replies without missing a beat, and the leader wants to meet her again. But something about his face tells us that it's not to give her candy. Later, Tsunai is presented before Grandpa. She apologizes and Grandpa wonders why for protecting her friend. Tsunai knows that if the relationship between the clan and the agency gets any worse, it will be bad for them. Grandpa says the Dragon Clan sees itself as a prestigious orthodox faction. He's not sure if they're the people they should deal with. After all, their entire lives are against the code of chivalry. She stood against injustice and did the right thing. As her grandfather, he's proud. Their agency values loyalty and trust over wealth, and if she faces injustice again, she shouldn't hesitate and stand tall and protected. Tsunai smiles. A great life lesson learned. Meanwhile, Yaon is presented to the leader. He's apologizing his head off, promising that he will definitely end Vang's life later. The leader, on the other hand, wonders how he can talk about ending lives when his own is at risk right now. The honor of the clan cannot be restored by the life of a mere Vang. Once their pride is shattered, it can't heal easily. He grabs his robe, telling Yaon that no one under the heavens can shame their sect and continue to draw breath. Therefore, they must trample over the agency, erase it from history. He has received his first command to get the squad assembled. Sure enough, the leader looks at the squad assembling in his reign. It's a gift to the agency. But the soul-severing sword might not be enough for Lolo. He's gonna use the one-eyed witch, a baddie with marshmallows the size of my head, who is chained up in a dungeon, It's raining heavily as Vang approaches the master, promising to set out soon for the Dragon Gate mission. The master is surprised by the sudden request and thanks his son for taking it on. Surprisingly, the Dragon Spring is in 16th, and Vang takes the request personally. Vang is just glad that their business relationship is still on track after the duel. His heart was heavy that he would have to leave his force during the special training period. The master tells him not to worry. They have fine escorts and porters. That's what all the training was for. Since the Blossom Agency is strong, he should go ahead and complete the mission. The master smiles kindly, telling his son it's reassuring to have him, even thanking him. Somewhere else, through the rain, a mysterious figure stands over a pile of bodies. They've eliminated all the bandits of the mountain. The mysterious figure tells everyone to gather their clothes and weapons. They must move according to the leader's plan. There can be no screw-ups this time around. Dako is also getting ready. Just then, someone calls his name, saying that the special training day is finally here. The man looks like a cross between a stick figure and a crackhead. He tells Dako that it is He Song, who has been running nonstop from the day he got that advice to increase his stamina. But instead of increasing his stamina, he lost a ton of weight. I can't believe that this little boy lost all his muscle. He really has a strange body. Song wonders if he can stick with Dako so that they can pass the training. Dako stutters. Jang tells everyone that the special training begins today. Only those who pass the training will become porters, and they can move in escort missions. Jang explains the rules. They need to transport groups from the Mountain Spirit Festival to the village at the peak of the mountain. All they have to do is transport a crate containing the goods to the summit village. The porters who can overcome the rough terrain of the mountain and arrive in first place will also be an elite porter, the honored one, and they will be given command over others in the future. He also hopes that everyone passes safely. By the looks of Song, it looks like he is going to pass away safely. Jang tells everyone to line up. Training is going to start. He roars at everyone and immediately, all of the porters spring into action, grabbing a crate and running off. Sunai tells them to have a safe journey. The biggest and fastest one of them takes off. Everyone has high hopes for him to be the future elite porter. As everyone is leaving, Dako notices Song being left behind. With trembling legs, he tells Dako not to worry and to go ahead. He knows that he will slow Dako down, so it's okay for Dako to run away. Dako feels guilty. He can't just leave this guy in a weathered state. He decides to carry him. He promised to handle it when the time comes, but for now they will stick together. They walk through the mountain and come across a bridge. But Dako notices something is off. The bridge doesn't sound right, as if the balance is shifting. He looks at the ropes, and they are fighting for dear life. Song, on the other hand, is delusional from the lack of sleep and the malnourishment. He tells his brother not to worry, for he is here, but as soon as he sets foot on the bridge it snaps. Thankfully, he didn't pass away as Dako got his back, holding him up and earning another life depth. Song promises to repay his life debt. He will never forget the grace that he has been shown. Dako just smirks, telling the young, frail boy to pass the special training exam. They need to go and their cargo is safe. They inspect the map and realize their destination. As they are walking through the forest, they come face to face with a group of ugly, AF bandits. They wonder if they are the porters of their Blossom Agency. Song gasps with surprise, but Dako is unfazed. They don't look like ordinary porters to him. After all, they are too disciplined, too powerful, and to top it all off, they have internal energy. It stinks of something foul. One of them tells Dako to forfeit their lives. Dako tells Song to throw away his cargo and run with him. The frail boy wonders why throw that cargo? But Dako rushes, saying that there is only one way to confirm his suspicions. True enough, instead of going for the cargo, they go for Dako and Song. If they were real bandits, they would have gone for the crates. It's like seeing one of the chosen people ignore a drop penny. Song tearfully looks at the cargo. There goes his dreams of becoming a porter. Just then, he finds a powerful hair to grab him. Dako grabs him and runs away. The bandits look around, wondering where they are. They need to come out and die nicely. Dako and Song look at them from over a tree branch. True enough, the bandits didn't go for the cargo but are chasing him. Dako asks the young boy if he has anything to use as a weapon. Song tells Dako that he has only 3 weapons: the sword in his pants, an axe, and a rope. Dako is not interested in his little twig in his pants. He grabs the axe and ties the rope around it to make it into a makeshift morning star. He tells the young boy to watch closely from behind. He steps into the ring, asking why they are chasing them instead of going for the cargo. He notices how they are too suspicious to be bandits. They are only targeting potters. Secondly, their footwork shows that they are martial artists. And thirdly, their disguises are too far off. He then decides to go for a little test to see which martial arts school they belong to. After all, when they face an erratic attack, they are forced to defend themselves with the martial arts they are used to. Dako throws the axe rope in a zigzag fashion, and one of them blocks it with his gauntlet. Another one shifts his weight. Dako continues to use the sun-breathing first form, and the bandits continue to evade and block his attacks until one of them is choked. Dako tells the bandit to reveal who he worked for, and he shouldn't worry, he will be meeting his creator soon. With the tuck of the rope, he severs the head, giving extra motivation to the other bandits to reveal whatever they know. Dako stands in front of the bandits. The first one has already been reduced to crimson pudding. The others rush towards him, ready to call him out on his cheap tricks. They try to close the distance, but that's a big mistake, for they are dealing with a sword demon. In the blink of an eye, he is nowhere to be found, and all three of their blades clash together. Resting in a small crater, they look at Dako, soaring through the air, and bringing his scythe of death upon them. One of them notices Song, hiding behind a tree, and takes him hostage, telling everyone to drop their weapons, or the frail boy loses his head. If they care about the frail boy, they must do as he says. But before he can complete the sentence or make demands, Dako headshots him with his axe, sending him flying. He then asks, why are they targeting the Potters? Or is there a real objective? The man just laughs hysterically, telling Dako that dead men need not gossip. They are all going to die anyway, so why would he ruin the fun by giving him spoilers? If he is that curious, he'll have to come to hell to have a little chat with him. Just then, the bandit ruthlessly bites his own tongue to commit suicide. Just then, the bandit's body goes limp, and Dako grits his teeth in frustration. Great, another coward who bites the dust when interrogated. He then looks at Song, glazing him non-stop for being an amazing fighter, asking where he learned moves like that. Dako tells Song to keep it a secret from the agency for now. Dako understands and looks at his amazing weapon, like the first caveman who discovered fire. He pleads with Dako to teach him how to use a weapon like that as well, and Dako just smiles. It's a weapon called the Karma Severing Axe, and he promises to teach the young boy once they get back. But for now, he needs to get to the bottom of the bandit situation. These guys are anything but bandits. They are sassy Bacchus that are targeting the Potters instead of valuable cargo craters. They have also been trained using martial arts. Even Song feels something is off. It's not his 10-bowl haircut, but the situation with the bandits. The township of Southern Clouds knows that everyone is supposed to clear the path for the Potters in their festival. Anyone who interferes will get bad luck, yet these bandits attack them. The other Potters might be in danger as well, so Dako decides to go and investigate to help them out. They decide to go through the investigation. They walk off winding paths, take down roaming bandits, and scale impossible walls with the power of friendship. Well, in Dako's case, the power of pity. He also makes quick work of three other bandits, earning Song's respect and undying glaze. The sun starts to dip, turning the sky azure. Song starts crying. He can't believe that he made it so far. He tells Dako that he is grateful to him. It's thanks to him that he made it out alive. Dako just smiles, reminding the boy that what he did was out of his own efforts. Dako must save his emotions for when he passes the test. Dako smirks, agreeing. They hear a voice whimpering from behind them. An old woman is grabbing a bucket of medicine. He asks the old timer what's the matter, and the old guy says that he slipped off his balance and hurt his ankle. He can't go back to the inn located at the top of the mountain alone. He asks both of them to take him there. Surprisingly, Song gives him a piggyback ride. He apologizes for being a bother though. Song still tries to be courteous, and the old man smiles. He is young, handsome, and strong, the perfect package, and he works in finance. The old timer wants his daughter to be married off to this sorry sack of bones. As soon as Song hears about the proposal, his mouth starts to water. At last, his right hand will retire. He even starts calling the old timer father, but the old timer quickly corrects him that he's not talking about this 2-cent Potter, but to the powerhouse walking in front of them, Dako. He knows how strong he is, and he is sure that his daughter would really like him. They then try to reach their destination by nightfall. Two merchants arrive, looking at the inn and remembering that there was no such place on the map. It looks like it's newly opened or something. They decide to check it out. Since they didn't read Sunai's manual, the 3 preparations of the road are new, and the inns are dangerous, so they shouldn't set foot in them. They should camp at a crevice in the nearby lawn, but just then, an 11 by 10 baddie with massive marshmallows arrives, telling them that the night is cold. They should come in and rest comfortably. She's also interested in knowing all of their stories. There's also another Potter inside, and maybe the gang would like to meet with him. Both of the gang members are questioning their life choices. They've started thinking from the mine down below. Just then, the baddie has 2 servants bring out their stuff, and in front of the moon, the inn sits quietly. Song smiles and they finally reach the inn. He ushers them in, ready to treat them to a hearty dinner, and also introduce Dako to his daughter. Dako turns to leave. They have rules, so they cannot enter the inn. As soon as they're about to leave, there's an unknown group targeting the Potters. After all, too many variants are aligning together. Since they met the old man, the bandits haven't appeared, and the scent of poison from the herbs is enough to show that they were trying to rob him. One thing that bothers him most is the weird yin energy coming from inside the mansion. The energy is denser than 100 demon farts. If the Potters are inside the inn, there's no telling what might happen to them, and everyone's in danger. That's why he needs to rush in and be the hero. He notices the presence of Potters inside, but can't sense where they are. Just then, dark electricity clouds hang over the mansion. At this late hour, ordinary people will be bewitched. With this much energy, he can't let it be. As soon as he opens the door, the baddie is here, smiling and welcoming him. Dako wonders about the source of the yin energy. Looks like she is a greater monster than he imagined. Just then, she starts floating, dark electricity crowded around her. An air of dread hangs over the mansion as the baddie looks at Dako, calling him an absolute snack and glad that her servant picked him out. The servant in question tells her that Dako is one of the porters. Though they don't have any key energy, they are in better shape than ordinary people. It's better to trap the others in the basement. This is some freaky stuff going on, and Dako realizes that the porters are in danger. Dark energy swirls around the baddie's hands. She now wants to get a taste of his essence. Dako realizes she is using that breathing first form Suki Vitality Absorption art, a nasty martial art that drains the opponent of their energy, and Dako can't afford being touched inappropriately even for a second. She rushes towards him, hand outstretched, threatening to get his vitality via his Dragon Balls. Dako decides to let her taste the edge of his axe, but she grabs it as if it doesn't mean anything, wondering why Dako is going straight for the toys. She throws Dako several meters away and stands before him as the goddess of destruction. Dako smirks, she's not bad, and the baddie smiles, calling him an insolent brat with no key energy. How can he take a yin attack? The baddie promises him a chance to die comfortably by snoo if he doesn't fight back, but Dako ducks, zooms towards her, about to cut her head off, but she counterattacks and forces Dako to dodge. She promises to devour his essence over and over again, each strike drawing blood. The yin energy around him is getting denser. She's trying to make him lose consciousness. After a while, she starts gaining the upper hand, and just then Dako's baggage arrives. He looks at Song, realizing that the yin energy is turning him into a simp. She rushes towards Song, ready to eat him up first as an appetizer. Dako grits his teeth. He can let his bro get devoured by an off-model. He throws the axe, and surprisingly, it passes through the woman. She appears behind Song, taking him hostage and dropping the axe. Energy swirls around her as she starts sucking the vitality out of the boy. 90% of her power is back. Dako calls out to Song. The yin energy is so strong that he can't move his body. Song grits his teeth, gasping for air. Something erupts within him as a green light bursts out. She wonders what's happening. The essence is not coming out, and she can't drain him. It turns out Song's true energy is resisting the witch's absorption art. His unique constitution must be incompatible with the witch's body and ki power. Furthermore, the witch can't even get away from him. Her pull-out game is really weak, and she's panicking because her yin energy is weakening. Dako decides this is the perfect time to counterattack. He gets behind her, ready to clap her with the twin fingers of destruction. He has stolen a lot of the essence of innocent men. Now it's her turn to suffer. He then gives her his world-renowned acupuncture violation art. All of the acupunctures are distorted, and her yin energy drains into the boys. Song gasps for air as the witch collapses in a bundle of blue skin and bones. Dako walks up to Song asking if he's okay, and Song has no memory of what happened. Dako excitedly tells his bro that he did well, and how does his body feel? Surprisingly, all of his circuits are warm and his vision is 20/20. It feels as if his body has been rejuvenated with overflowing energy. Dako realizes that the boy is no longer frail. He absorbed the witch's power. When Song looks at the withered corpse, he yells, "What the hell is this ugly-ass thing?" Dako decides to deal with it later. For now, they need to rescue the rest of the Potters. As they go into the mansion, the old man from earlier apologizes, saying that the others are safe in the basement, and all he wants is forgiveness. The witch asked him to trick the Potters and bring him here, and so he did. She promised that if he did it, she would breathe essence into his son and bring him back to life. Dako wonders why she was targeting the Potters. They're not important to be targeted. The crying old man apologizes again, as he saw the bandits paying respect to a warrior dressed in red. Dako freezes hearing about the red robes. Does the old man have evidence of their identity? The old man decides to lead Dako and Song, the one who went mad for essence, and attacked even the bandits on her own side. She needed the power of the bandits, more than the Potters who had none. She appeared before the witch, and it turns out Dako appeared before the witch could get to the Potters. So all of them are safe. Dako decides to return for now, and the old man must report everything to the magistrate. He also needs to live his life, reflecting on his sins. Later, all of the Potters thank Dako and Song for their heroic rescue. They're glazing him non-stop. If not for them, they would have been reasons. While Song tries to act humble, Dako tells them that it's only natural to lend a helping hand, and now they should travel together. Everyone cheers, and they all embark on their journey. Arriving together at the mansion, Sunai is excited to look at everyone returning safely. Later, he tells Sunai what happened, and she applies healing salve again. The people were using martial arts and were trained. Sunai wonders why someone would target them when they're nobodies. Dako brings out a money pouch carried by the man who attacked them. Looking at the mark is enough to have really realized there is a dragon string gate that is behind their ambush and onslaught. All of the porters are assembled in front of the master. The master didn't want to rank participants, but it's only natural to give higher ranks to those who contributed the most to the mission. Therefore, he has decided to grant the command of a special grade or an escort agent and a first grade escort agent to those with the most recommendations. Naturally, Dako is claimed to be a special grade escort agent. Instead of being jealous, all of the fellow porters praise him and are happy for him. Not only did he get recognition, but Song was also promoted to first grade escort agent. Child is also surprisingly promoted even though he didn't do anything. All of the porters are glad to see their brothers get the recognition they deserve. They congratulate them. One of them even teases Song for being too strong. The master continues that the incident that happened during training was their fault, and he wants to make sure it doesn't happen again. So they will be getting statements from everyone attacked during the training exercise and request an investigation from the magistrate. He then turns to Dako, asking if he would go to the magistrate. Dako looks at the master in surprise. He thought that the head would go personally over there. The townsfolk freeze, looking at Tsunai, who shoulders a huge backpack and walks to the magistrate's office. The guards don't let her in, telling her to go play with dolls or something. This is a place for only important people. Tsunai yells that she is here to report a crime. She arrives at the magistrate's office, and the official is laughing his head off at why a cute little lady from the Plumbostom is here. He leans closer, still toying with Tsunai, asking who he should punish and who he should report. Is it the kids on the playground? Tsunai excitedly says Lord of Dragon Spring Gate. She accuses the Lord of the State. That is enough to put the official in an awkward position. She asks what the charges are, and Tsunai, in a childish voice, starts counting all of his war crimes: murder, kidnapping, assault, and destruction of public property. The official is taken aback that the brat is slandering. Tsunai is prepared. She has advice on her side. She brings out the coin pouch. The roster of Dragon Spring Magistrate was found at the crime scene, and also a book with testimonies of their escort agents who were attacked. She also brings out a map. The attack was focused on their agency, and particularly on their agents during the training program. Tsunai starts explaining, and both of the dumb officials are taken aback. Later in the mountains, Dako is busy hammering his wood. He is trying to train his body over and over again to break through his limits. He is currently punching a tree trunk as it owes him money. This is the foundation of external martial arts. The next stage will be to use an external key skill. He works on his footwork, gets into his stance, and tries to grasp ultimate power. He needs to learn how to use external energy and release it in an instant to create a point-blank explosion. He closes his eyes and feels the wind brushing against his skin. If he could use even a handful of the wind energy, then it wouldn't be possible to use the 13 swords of Dako again. A burning determination shines in his eyes as he punches the tree again, trying to create a new external martial art that has never existed before. Surprisingly, the punch shatters the wood on impact, but Dako is not satisfied. He still has a long way to go. He puts on his robes and returns to his quarters. Tsunai arrives excitedly, and Dako wonders why she is out when it's about to be dark. Tsunai excitedly reveals that she has reported successfully. She is here to congratulate him on becoming a special agent. She even has a present for him. Dako looks at the bundle, wondering what it is. Knowing Tsunai, it's probably a mountain of steamed buns, but it looks like I was wrong. It's a martial uniform that looks pretty expensive. Dako wonders how he can accept something like that, and Tsunai just smiles. They're friends. Of course he can accept it. Dako also smiles in return. In his long journey of becoming the Sword Demon, he has now found something he never had: companionship. Chiol and the others also write congratulating Dako on becoming a special grade. Everyone has a present for him. Song and Chiol show him the special first grade badge they have. Now they can be together forever, and the chef has prepared all of this delicious food for them to celebrate. Lately, Jang and the chef are going back and forth. It looks like both of them want Dako to be their successor, and the chef has been looking for him nonstop. Dako remembers the gorilla chef. It's really starting to get burdensome. Chiol and Song just laugh. Since Big Bro arrived, everything has been going great. They don't even have to go to the kitchen anymore. And becoming an escort agent has also become easier. Tsunai also laughs. The feud is greater, and Dako smiles. For the first time in his life, his presence is bringing positivity instead of death and carnage. Chiol and Song reveal that they want to be like Dako. They have made up their minds. They want to be his right-hand man and left-hand man. Dako is surprised, and Tsunai excitedly wonders what she can be. Can she be the left foot? Both of the first grade agents tell Tsunai that she is the future of the agency. She needs to focus on accounting, and they will serve Dako till the end of the earth. Tears pool around Tsunai's eyes. Why is everyone teaming up with Dako and leaving her around? Dako just smiles, telling Tsunai that she is clever. They need to use her intelligence. Tsunai perks up. She decides to be Dako's brains and tells everyone to listen closely. She is the one who will control all the limbs. They are alive, calling her crybaby Tsunai. Suddenly, the branch lord is over at the gate. The Lord of the Gate asked what's up. The man tells the Gate Lord that they've heard news that Dragonspring was reported to the magistrate. The local magistrate has contracted them and is fed up with their antics. This is the Mirim Alliance branch, Lord Zhang. Zhang throws him a pouch. It's the same pouch that Sunai recovered as evidence. The Plum Agency is accusing their sect of violence, and if they tried to kidnap or murder the Plum agents, it's a serious crime. He also heard that several of the same money pouches were found at the scene. The child is well prepared, and they can't ignore it, so the case is registered. All the records will be kept, and from now on, they may manage to resolve the matter. If something like that happens again, then the Mirim Alliance won't be able to save their sorry hides. The magistrate, on the other hand, has declared that the Dragonspring Gate is innocent. Sunai crashes out. How can they say that after such sound evidence? It's like they're biased towards them. The Plum agents look through the report. The master says that they've painted or fatty. Vang also disagrees with the verdict. It's too suspicious, and he was also away on a special request. He wants to lead the agents to find the attackers and make them confess, but the master decides to drop it. They can't do anything but abide for the time being. Unless clear evidence is found to overturn the verdict, there's no way. Sunai's mind starts racing. She turns to Dako and sits on him as he does his daily push-ups. She talks about what is happening and wants to find concrete evidence. Dako smiles. Looks like they'll have to find the ledger. Dako is snooping around for clues, looking at the manager who takes drives to handle the ledgers. They're after him to get that ledger. He manages the magistrate's enormous funds, so it's only natural that he would cover for his powerful enemies. They've also heard that he helped a guy named Epstein hide his files. He must have the real ledger of the Dragon Gate stacked somewhere in his mansion. Dako is surprised that Sunai knows all about it. Sunai reveals that someone from the agency was contacted by the magistrate to get some protection in exchange for money. Of course, Grandpa turned them down. A man rushes towards the magistrate, asking why it's so unjust. The man cries, begging them to re-examine his daughter's case. There were loose ends on the investigation, and he asked the commander to see it again and release the vengeful spirits from the afterlife. The commander grunts. How dare they question his fairness? Because of his daughter, several innocent young noblemen were falsely accused, and the verdict was fair as hell. The man yells, calling him a devil. His bribes are evident by the fatness of his belly. Just then, the man is punched in the solar plexus, reduced to a sniveling mess. The commander yells at him. How dare he slander an innocent official? For that, he will never speak with that filthy mouth of his. Just then, Sunai arrives, standing before the man and telling the commander to stop. Why is an official using violence? Shouldn't he at least listen to the man and see if his judgment was flawed or not? The official calls her a brat for interfering without a shred of fear. Does she also want to get a beating? Sunai claps back, telling the commander that he can try. How amazing would it look if the official were bullying a child? The commander is taken aback, realizing that his PR is on the line. He clicks his teeth in frustration, telling his boys, it's time to go back. He also spits at the man for being a sorry excuse of a father for not being able to protect his daughter. The man can only close his eyes in regret and helplessness. Later, Sunai walks with Dako. It looks like a lot of people are suffering because of the corrupt officials. If only they could find the corrupt ledger, they could get rid of these rotten officials and overturn the wrongful judgments. Dako smiles. They've confirmed the commander's identity. All they need to do is steal the ledger from his mansion. Easier said than done. Meanwhile, Song is going through Morning Star routines. He's using the axe and rope weapon Dako showed him, and his skills have really skyrocketed. He's been training hard non-stop. Even Sunai is surprised by how strong he's gotten, and his stamina is off the charts. Did he secretly take some elixir or something? Song just laughs. Ever since the special training day, the energy just keeps flowing in him. Only Dako knows the reality of his situation. The internal energy he absorbed from the one-eyed witch has settled well. He's even using leg weights to train his stamina and take it a step further. Sunai crashes out. She should also be trained with the good stuff. Song just laughs, promising to create ankle weights for her as well. She then looks at Dako, wondering what brings him here. He goes over the situation and knows that the government officers are all rotten to the core. They really need to get their hands on the ledger. And Dako promises to look for the ledger, but he needs someone to distract the guards and keep a watch on everything. And there are only two people he would trust. Stealing a ledger from an official is dangerous, and he can't force anyone to join. Song, on the other hand, smiles. He is his ride or die homie, and of course, he can't sit back and relax. Isn't that Dako's left arm? It's time to put that to the test. Dako smiles and asks where Chiel is. Kale is on a mission to his hometown. Dako's patience is on thin ice. Chiel claims to be his right-hand man, but he's never there when it counts. Sunai smiles, reminding Dako that he has her as the brain. All they need to do is go scout the mansion and come up with a plan. They arrive at the mansion, and it's dark and huge. No wonder the commander is making a boatload of money. How can they find a ledger in a huge mansion like this? The only guiding light they have is that the mansion should be well organized. But the guards must also be on high alert all the time. Dako spots the warehouse and makes a run for it. They throw a flaming arrow at a couple of supplies, managing to distract everyone. As the fire starts to spread, Sunai looks at them and starts scribbling in her diary. She's making a layout of their patrol route and their emergency plan. The guards, on the other hand, are staying in their positions where the important stuff is present. She then hands the newly made map to the duo, and they smile. It looks like she really is the brains of the operation. Sunai also smiles. She has 2 smoke bombs. As they can escape, they can light the bag and throw it. It will smear powder in their eyes. One is a smoke grenade. Sunai smiles, telling them to go get the ledger. She'll give a watch outside for backup. She tells Song to lure the guards and split their forces, and Song vows to do that since he is stronger now. If things look dangerous, Song needs to use the smoke bomb and run. They then arrive at the mansion and snoop around. Song appears in front of a guard, swinging his boomerang axe, saying that he is a righteous thief, here to capture the corrupt officials. All of the guards rush towards him, and he is nervous as hell, but still acts. On his first swing, he takes down a guard. He didn't mean to kill. Just then, Dako walks into the warehouse, and a dagger zooms towards him. He manages to deflect it. The commander arrives, asking how dare he enter his house. Dako looks over his shoulder, telling the guard that it looks like he is desperate to meet his creator. Fatty Commander yells at Dako, asking who the hell he is to come here unannounced. Dako freezes. Then again, the commander has a lot of enemies. No wonder he is paranoid. The commander brings out his blade as if he can take down Dako. He promises to make Dako regret setting foot over here. He swings his blade, and it's so slow he might as well mail Dako the sword. Dako tells Fatty he is talking too much, and with those pathetic moves, he might as well throw hands with a kid. One punch to the gut is enough to have the commander squealing like a little pig. Dako tells the officer that his skills are poor. How did he become a military officer? Maybe through money or connections. He starts stomping on Fatty, and Fatty tearfully yells at Dako. Does he even know who he is? Dako doesn't care. He could be the king for all he cares. As he continues to stomp, Commander Ronan arrives. Dako looks at the mercenaries, realizing that the government officer is using mercenaries. They must be shady as hell. The first mercenary to approach Dako gets the Will Smith treatment. The second one is forced to be friends with the ground, his face smashed against the asphalt. Dako then turns his attention towards the commander, who promises to give him anything he wants as soon as he decides to leave. Dako leans closer, asking the commander for the ledger where he keeps details of his corruption. Initially, the commander tries to refuse its existence, but 5 minutes and 1 black eye later, he goes to the safe and brings out the ledger. Dako goes through it and is horrified by all of the vicious things he has done for money. It looks like he was keeping the ledger around to blackmail his clients and slip away if there was trouble. Sure enough, Dragon Gate is also in the book. On top of that, this freak of nature really targeted kids and covered it up. Dako is furious. It looks like handing him over to the authorities is too lenient. He closes the books, telling Fatty that his verdict has just changed. He doesn't deserve to live in this world anymore. Hearing this, Fatty rushes away asking for anyone to help him, but Dako growls at him, launching towards Fatty and hitting him with his knee, causing him to fall. The Fatty stupidly asks Dako if it's money he wants, he'll get rewarded handsomely. Just then, yellow liquid starts pouring on his head. The commander wonders what this is. Is it oil? Looks like Dako has decided that there will be a bonfire tonight. He tells Fatty to think about all the victims left by his actions. It's time to atone for it with his body. Dako lights the Fatty on fire and turns to leave. He now has the secret ledger and needs to get out. On the way there, he looks at 3 notebooks about cultivation methods, and to Dako, who is a pro, they are absolutely trash, but for someone like Song, who is a newbie, they are pretty good. He decides to hang on to them and zooms away to Song. He is surprised to see Song holding his own against 3 officials. He is dodging blows effortlessly, keeping up with them and even anticipating their movements. It's like he is a whole new person. Moreover, he is knocking them out instead of killing them. The guards are overwhelmed, and just then, Dako arrived, kicking them apart and calling Song Hanseum, which is the fake name they are using for each other. The names belong to leaders of the Dragon Spring Gate. If the officials hear these names, they will obviously target the Dragon Sect. Moreover, Sunai tells them to drop the Dragon Coin pouch to lead the officials towards them. They then use a smoke bomb to get away, leaving the pouch behind. Later, they go through the records and are disgusted to see how corrupt the officials are. They really need to report it. The commander wrote everything in great detail. It was probably his insurance in case of trouble. Song really wants to hand it over so that the corrupt officials can be punished. Dako, on the other hand, wants to go to the capital tomorrow, but Sunai disagrees. The contents of the ledger are solid, but there is no guarantee it will reach the right hands. All they need to do is mobilize the masses, people who are desperate enough to see it through to the very end. If the victims take the evidence and appeal directly, even the higher authorities won't be able to ignore them. Sure enough, the frail man who was trying to avenge and seek justice for his daughter gets his hands on the ledger. He yells at Dako, "How did he get the ledger? And it's definitely enough to prove the crimes." Dako tells the man to gather all the victims who suffered unjustly under the government. The man tearfully yells that he will gather everyone, and they'll go. Dako also apologizes about his daughter's death, telling him it's not his fault. He prays that his daughter finds a peaceful life. Dako leaves the man standing there, and the next day, he gathers all of the fellow victims and moves towards the courthouse, yelling that he has the secret ledger of the corrupt officials. The court needs to rectify the wrongful verdict. The old guy approaches all of the victims, and together they go to the officials, handing them the concrete proof that the government is corrupt. Looking at it, the chief inspector was furious. He ordered a thorough investigation of the department and strict punishments for whoever was responsible, whoever's name was on the list. Those involved in the corruption were all whisked off to prison through a public display of shame. The magistrate who was at the peak of the mountain was held responsible and executed, his head mounted on a spike to serve as an example for every corrupt official. As the officials were dragged away, Dako and Tsunai looked at them with mixed expressions. The investigation turned towards the forces that concluded with the government, and naturally, it led to the Dragon Spring Gate. There was evidence of the sect's residence being full of contraband. The look on the manager's face was priceless. His whole career has come to an end. Dako and Tsunai walk around and give each other a brofist. They've cleaned the street in just a few days of corrupt officials. Earlier, the Dragon Spring Gate was in uproar as the head of the Murim sect yelled, "How can he kill Lieutenant Bang and steal the magistrate's secret ledger?" The master pitifully pleaded that he is not responsible. It's a ploy to frame their plan for that. Zhang just sighs, telling the leader that he has learned that their sect is just a bunch of boys throwing fists around. To think that the third great sect was unable to clear their name and was meat riding the government officials. The Murim sect is glad that they can walk out of their shaky alliance. He turns to leave, telling the leader that today is the end of their relationship. The Dragon Gate sect is no longer associated with the Murim. The master pleaded, "What about all the time and effort they dedicated to the alliance?" This ticks off Zhang. He reminds the master that what he did was nothing special, and that's the only reason why he came here personally. If he dares mention him or the alliance ever again, he won't be able to live with regret for his decisions. The master is taken aback and left all alone. With a trembling fist, he can't believe that his plan's future is over. He vows to make them pay for their sins. Meanwhile, the agency is in high spirits. Dako leaves work and Tsunai tells him to weigh it up. She excitedly swings her sword over and over again, asking if he's training. Starting today, maybe they can get some training in together, now that she's strong. Dako grins and looks at the ankle weights around her legs. She reveals that Song created them according to her size. He got insanely strong, and she can't let him surpass her. Dako smiles, so she plans to be strong. But what then? Tsunai continues to flail around with her sword, saying that she's gonna get revenge on the Benders from the Green Forest for hurting her dad. Dako just smiles, looking at the high-spirited girl. He corrects her form and tells her to go at it again. They continue with more drills, and later she cultivates her inner energy. Dako notices how her energy has definitely grown, and he feels a pang of sadness, wondering if his path is also the right one. He's been going through external arts. He's been honing the body to the max, but without internal energy, there's a limit to what he can achieve. If he can use the external energy of nature, that would be great, but he can't gather it in his empty circuits. He must complete a new martial art form to regain his former status, and the infinite energy of nature surrounding him is walled off by a strange barrier. He feels that he can't get a grasp of it, no matter what. The energy swirls around him. Dako feels the orb of nature energy just outside of his grasp, so close and yet so far. He needs to grasp it. His eyes widen in shock as he looks at his palm, sweating. He needs to find a way. He also notices Tsunai is missing. A strange scent fills the air. It turns out the adorable little girl is brewing a cup of tea for him. Dako wonders why. She excitedly says that this tea can boost his vitality. It's something that Grandpa saves for special occasions, and it can recharge his energy. Dako asks the little girl if she's really stolen her grandpa's prized tea. Tsunai just smiles. She's brought here to drink after training, and it's good for vitality boosting. She pours the tea, and he takes a sip. He can't believe that she, who is so against stealing, just took the tea. If they're caught, she'll have to take the fall for it. Tsunai tells her not to worry and just drink. There's a lot more from where that came from. He needs to drink over and over again, empty it so she can fill it up. Dako looks at the little girl pouring tea with her utmost concentration. She's the only one who thinks of him, and for someone who never had family or friends, this is a new chapter in life. The more he knows her, the kinder her heart is. She tells him to empty the cup again so she can fill it up, and Dako freezes. What does she mean by emptying it and filling it? A strange idea occurs in his mind that a cup cannot be full if it's already full. He gulps the tea, realizing that what he's been doing is all wrong. Containing the energy of great nature is impossible in his body because it's already full. Even though his internal energy has been snuffed out, the root energy is still there. The primordial energy, the source of one's life force, is there. Everyone has it, and in extreme cases, martial artists use it instead of internal energy to get a massive boost of power before dying. If he wants to really channel the natural energy, he'll have to take out the primordial energy. Failure would mean death. He takes a sip and makes up his mind. He tells the kind little girl that that's enough, and it's all thanks to her that he's feeling better. Sunai innocently wonders if the effects are really that fast. Meanwhile, a scumbag is tearing people apart as if he's bashing a pie dada at a party. Everyone goes freaky and licks his blade, asking who the next target is. This is Blood Snake Gang, and this man is Sangwon. His boss smiles, a brutish man with a scar and a sword. The next target on their hit list is Plum Bosom Agency. This is the gang leader Hong. Dako is trying to harness the power of nature within him. He must empty his ki and fill the void with the power. He feels the rushing gun forming immense power coagulating around his body. If his concentration dips even a little, the ki will destabilize and dissipate, leaving him with only one result. He reaches for the energy, trying to burn his own and fill it with nature's energy at the same time. A tricky process but highly rewarding. In this high-risk, high-reward scenario, he feels a small voice call him. As soon as his concentration dips, the energy destabilizes and bursts forward, sending him flying through the mental space. He opens his eyes in panic and looks at Sunai, unaware of what she has done, holding flowers. Dako huffs in exhaustion, gasping for air. No way was he going to die because of a small disturbance like that. If things move at this sluggish rate, how will he get his revenge? Sunai notices something's wrong with Dako and checks his temperature. He swats her hand away, asking what she is doing here. Why isn't she training? She gets nervous, stuttering that she picked these flowers for him on her way back from training. Aren't they pretty? Dako, with a hint of annoyance, asks if she really interrupted him for a prank. She feels bad and apologizes she wanted to give it to them. She tries to change the topic, but she's training super hard, and a sandbag even burst. She slumps on the floor, ready to take a break, and as Dako looks tired as well, maybe he should as well, she excitedly tells him that they can look around the market, and eating something sweet might cheer him up. Dako looks away, telling her to go by herself. He's good. The adorable little girl starts massaging his shoulder, trying to get him to accompany her to the market. After all, work no play will make him a dull boy. Dako knows that the little girl doesn't understand the life and death battle he is waging within himself to acquire this power. He tells the little girl coldly that he's focusing on his training. If it's too hard for her to train, he should take the sandbags off and take some rest. Sunai's spirits plummet. She thought that he looked tired, and maybe he could come play with her tomorrow. Dako coldly tells her that he's busy with his own training these days. She walks away with the spirit crushed. Tears pool around her eyes, asking if he really can't come tomorrow. Dako curtly tells her that it's important and he can't come by tomorrow. She decides not to indulge her childishness any longer, and she leaves angrily, yelling that he doesn't have to play with her anymore. But he doesn't know how badly he fumbled. Later, he's working hard in the yard, and the master asks why he is working so hard. All of the crates are neatly stacked up, and he's been working the hardest lately. He apologizes for not being able to pay any attention to him, but Dako doesn't mind. He's always been allergic to attention. He also asks what's so special about tomorrow. The master burst out laughing, saying that tomorrow is one of the most important days at the agency, and it would be a disaster to let it pass. Dako gasps, wondering what it is. The master explains that tomorrow is Sunai's birthday. Dako realizes just how badly he fumbled. It looks like she has already been pestering him. Her birthday is special, so he pleads with Dako to understand. Her birthday is the one day her father would always play with her, and one year, they received an urgent escort request on her birthday. Sunai, being a bright child, knew that the mission was important for the agency and let her father go. Just then, she received the news that it was his last journey. She blames herself for not throwing a tantrum or stopping him from going. She believes she could have prevented the tragedy. Dako feels his heart sink. He shouldn't have asked. She has been more cheerful ever since he arrived. Later, Dako walks through the marketplace. He treated her too coldly, unaware of her story, and now feels like a piece of trash. The steam buns the military uniform. He has always been on the giving end. Dako tries to spot Sunai and pick out a gift for her. He looks at her standing selling weapons and imagines giving her a great sword, telling her to slice the bones of her enemies, and she would exactly say slice, or he could give her a skull basher, and she would say smash. Dako knows that she won't say anything like that, but it's also true that he's never bought someone a gift. Just then, two pink hairpins caught attention. Their hair ornaments are very difficult to come by. It remembers the flower she was holding that day, and he decides to take it. Later, he is walking through the forest, marveling at the hairpins. He hopes she likes it, and he'll take tomorrow off so she can have a companion to play with. Just then, he feels the air shift. A mysterious figure launches a kick at him, and Dako manages to dodge it. The figure can't believe that he really dodged that kick. Dako asks the man to reveal who he is, but the man just smiles, telling Dako that dead men need not learn names. If he's curious, they should find out together. He launches a flurry of kicks towards Dako, and Dako manages to dodge them. He also realizes that this martial artist has trained in combat arts, and his skills are no joke. The man just laughs. For someone who can't use internal energy, he's good, but external energy will only take him so far. He imbues his leg with powerful energy and swipes it at Dako, sending him flying against a tree trunk. Dako looks at his arms, steaming. This veteran knows how to use energy. The man laughs, so Dako can block attacks imbued with internal energy. Now that's interesting. He wants to have a taste of him. After all, the job was too boring to kill some rats and kidnap a girl. The mention of a girl sends Dako on high alert. The martial artist gets ready to strike Dako with a palm seal, but Dako grabs his wrist and twists it. He's done playing with these trash flies. He yells at the man to reveal if the girl has already been kidnapped, and if it is a lady of the Blossom Agency. Screams echo through the night as Dako wipes the floor with the bastard, punching him until his chest caves and reducing his face to a bloody grapefruit. He then picks up the man, asking where the girl is. The man, on the other hand, still tries to act brave. The brat won't be alive and everything is because of her. Dako rests his teeth in frustration and anger, ready to start out to find her. Back at the agency, bodies are lined up. Evidence of struggles is all over the body. Dako looks at them, asking Song what happened. With tears flowing from his eyes, he tells Dako the seniors were out training at the mountain when they were attacked on their way back. Somi is missing. Sunai is the only one who was kidnapped. Dako leans closer, asking who the culprit is. It turns out that the Dragon Gate is once again involved. They headed their escort leader, Wang, and the other agents. Dako notices the tendons and limbs being snapped off cleanly. These injuries were inflicted by a sword, and not only any swordmanship but one from the unorthodox faction. It looks like those scumbags have brought in a third power to support them. He asks Song where the place was where the group was ambushed. Song tells Dako that if he's going to save Sunai, he's coming too, but Dako is not in the mood to babysit today. He can't guarantee that Song will return safely this time. He runs away, telling Song to protect the agency. He needs to rescue Sunai within 2 hours. He approaches the site of attack, and it's full of speckles of blood. He looks around from the blood stains and footprints, trying to imagine where Sunai was hiding. While they were attacking the group, Sunai must have hidden somewhere behind a boulder. He walks up to one boulder, and sure enough, a child's footsteps are there. He imagines Sunai being carried by the leader. He's certain that she was kidnapped from this point, but being a clever girl, she must have left some kind of trace. He notices a trail of sand going through the mountain. It's freshly scattered and going in a certain direction. Dako realizes it must be from the sandbag she was wearing. Looks like she let the sand spill to signal a trail. Dako rushes. If only he had been more considerate of Sunai's feelings, she wouldn't have been kidnapped. If only he didn't treat her so coldly. He clenches his fist so hard that it starts bleeding. If only he had been better, she wouldn't have been kidnapped and would be playing with him instead. He needs to find her at all costs. He tells the little scamp to wait only for a little longer. Meanwhile, at the Blood Snake Hall, the leader is sitting with Sunai tied next to her. Sunai is crying, asking why he is being such a meanie. If he has lived such a bad life, then he should be punished by the heavens. Hong just laughs. He's a bad guy, and one more word out of her will result in a tongue dissection. He tells the kid that the Great Blood Hall is responsible for what's happening. But why did they have to go through such trouble to get one escort leader? His advisor whispers that Vang, the leader, is someone whose martial arts is unpredictable. He even defeated Yeon, the top master of the Dragon Gate. Just then, Hong shows why he's the big dog around here. He force chokes the attendant, asking if he's saying that the Blood Hall should also be shaking in their boots. He reaches his fist, and immediately the attendant gasps for air. It's just that the client wants them to lure agency people here and kill them, to make sure that the brat sees every bit of it. Hong just laughs, so the scumbags want revenge served in a cold platter. The 30-year-old gorilla JD is bullying a little kid, still thinking that it's fun. But a silver 1,000 coins won't make it. He wants to squeeze an extra 500 out of them. He also turns to the kid, asking if she's heard what he said. He'll kill the entire agency, and kill her last. Sunai nervously says that today is her birthday, and Hong just laughs. That's great. She'll get an epic birthday present soon, maybe a nice coffin. Isn't that nice? They laugh. He then picks up Sunai and tells her to watch closely. All of the members of his clan are busy fighting each other to the bitter end, crushing their moves, sharpening their footwork. The mountain is crawling with people who live and die by the sword. If they set their mind to it, not even a mouse can leave the mountain alive. So what he doesn't know is that he spoke the wrong tiger horn. Dako is leaving a trail of bodies wherever he walks. He's huffing in exhaustion, and Hong is excited to see what happens. He tells Sunai to witness the end of the agency. Just then, footsteps echo. Someone is here. Hong arrives, Aura farming, and Sunai looks at him with relief written over her face. Dako spots the army of swordmen waiting for him. He tells Sunai that they should be playing together. So why is she just standing here? He's glad that she's safe. Hong wonders who the hell this guy is. He is not Bang. The hall master was supposed to take care of him, so how did he survive? Hong just reasons that it's maybe because the master was running late. Sunai tells Dako not to do it alone. She remembers the day that her father died. Why is her birthday turning out to be the same way? Why is her second daddy also about to meet his bitter end because of her? She yells at Dako to leave, not to come any closer, but Dako surprisingly closes the gate of the hall. He's not trapped with them. They're trapped here with him. Hong just doesn't get it yet and asks why he is closing the gates by himself. He uses his telekinesis to grab a sword and chuck it at Dako. Dako moves his neck ever so slightly to dodge it. They have committed a deed they should never have done. He didn't want to hold a sword until he was ready, until he could redeem himself, but it looks like he can't be picky. They've made the biggest mistake of their lives, giving the sword demon a sword. Not a single one of them will be living here alive or on their own legs. He remembers all the times Sunai took care of her when he was on the verge of dying. Then she thought that steam buns were the answer to every problem, the only friend who reached out to him, a man who lived his life in seclusion as a loner, and he would rather die than let anything happen to her. He tells Sunai to do her a favor and close her eyes just for a moment, and not open them until he says so. She puts her entire faith in him, closing it. Hong teases him for the touching moment, but Dako is ready to bring carnage on these fools. One idiot runs towards him, swinging his sword, but Dako's movements are so fluid that it looks like he phases through the idiot, tearing him in half with his sword, and surprising Hong and his attendant. He's showing them why he has earned the name Sword Demon. The attendant is shaking in his boots. The guy's sword skills are off the charts. Hong, on the other hand, is still confident since he can't sense any internal energy from Dako. Even the attendant is a little reassured that he doesn't have internal energy. But how can he fight like that without any energy? Hong just laughs. The guy has been training in the external arts. However, using external arts without energy will have him gassed in a few minutes. Let's see how long he can last with his army. The attendant reminds Hong not to be an idiot and use his manpower to kill Dako and not suffer more losses. But Hong is sitting on his high horse. He wants to see how far he can go, and if they can't handle a measly Potter, they deserve to die. Sunai squeezes her eyes shut, desperately praying for Dako's safety. Another one tries to swing at Dako, but he punches his face, giving him a free smile makeover. He throws him several meters away and looks at the incoming fighters. He continues to hack and slash over and over again. The attendant has never seen someone like that, and those scary red eyes remind him of something he has seen before. One of them pleads with the master to lend him more men. Hong yells, "Why are they being overwhelmed by a single Potter? Do they not have any shame left?" Another one arrives, asking Hong what's all the commotion about. He has gathered all scattered members of the Blood Sand sect. This is Sang, captain of the squad. Hong wonders why their sect is having such a fuss over a Potter. Sang, on the other hand, wonders if the agency will really be able to save the child. Dako continues to hack and slash, and Hong decides to use the 9 blood dragons to handle it. Sang tells the little girl to open her eyes and see the carnage that's going to unfold. The girl needs to see the blood dragons tear her pretentious uncle to shreds. Dako, on the other hand, is thinning the enemy lines. Everyone is scared to approach him. Dako knows that it's not the time to use that power, but someone throws hidden needles at him. He manages to deflect all of them, and the blood dragons have arrived, the elite of the squad. A woman tells him to stay still. One needle is protruding from his shoulder. He tells the blood dragons to gather around. A burly man swings his giant sword at Dako, but he manages to deflect it. Another man tries to stab him from a blind spot, but Dako dodges that as well, only losing part of his robe. Another man punches him in the gut, sending him flying. Dako realizes that the blood sect is nothing but a group of cowards. They're all trying to jump him, knowing that he doesn't have internal energy. Hong laughs, asking if it's really the best he can do. Hong wonders why the lunatic is not going down. He tells everyone to listen up. Anyone who can serve his head on a platter will get a handsome reward. This is enough to motivate everyone, but they don't know that they're signing a death contract. Dako is ready to risk it all to kill every one of them and eliminate future threats. He promises that the agency will stay safe and strong. As the group is coming down on Dako, Dako activates his true energy. A burst of violent light resonates in his soul, and everyone gasps in surprise. Shaken by the immense spike in inner energy, the clouds darken, and it's been a while since he's felt this overwhelming urge to destroy. He holds his sword. Time to unleash the 13 swords of Dako once again. He is ready to unleash Moonflower Flash. Dako grabs his blade. The true energy that he has will be the ultimate sacrifice he makes to save Sunai. He is going to save her even if he loses every drop of his true energy. He unleashes Dako 13 Swords' first form Moonlit Flash. Immediately slashes of energy swarm the area, cutting through enemy lines. The enemies stand no chance before these energy projections. Dako vows not to let a single one of them leave here alive. The attendant, on the other hand, looks like he just pissed his pants. The 13 swords of Dako mean that they are facing the Sword Demon. That's definitely the Sword Demon they are up against. The greatest Murim enemy under the heavens. The Red Lotus Sword Demon, the one who leaves a mist of blood in his wake. Everyone is shaking in their boots, realizing that they have poked the wrong bear. He is the strongest swordman in this world, with with the sole exception of Satoru Gojo, and it is heard that he has killed all the Mirim experts before going down in an epic battle against them. The attendant can't forget the terror he felt back then. The swordmanship is unmistakably his. One idiot tries to block Dako's sword, but Dako's sword cleaves through the blade and strikes him from head to toe. His eyes blaze with crimson energy. The attendant looks at Tsunai, quivering. They have messed with the wrong child. Hong curses the Dragon Clan for dumping such a trashy request on them. Dako, on the other hand, is on demon time. He swings his blade, and wherever the swing connects, hands fly off, swords shatter. The attendant yells that at this rate, their whole clan will be wiped out. They need to release the kid and ask for a truce, but Hong just laughs. He has realized that Dako didn't have any internal energy, but suddenly exploded to reveal the sword demon. It turns out that he is burning his true energy. Unlike before, he can feel the energy fading. He yells at his members to keep pushing him as he is almost out of true energy. Whoever brings him Dako's head will gain the second in command position at the Blood Snake Hall. All of the fighters are motivated, but Dako just laughs, telling everyone to listen up. They should come get their second in command place. He hopes that it's worth their life. A burly man with a great sword tries to go for his head, but Dako unleashes Dako 13 Sword's second form, Flying Flash Strike, to shatter his blade and pierce his torso at the same time. Two fighters try to jump him, but he uses 6th form, Flowing Rapid Slash, to tear through them like a phantom. A barrage of needles rains towards him, but he dodges each one. Is the girl again throwing needles over and over again? He uses the 8th form, Dance of the Wind Sword, to deflect all of the needles and send the sword flying towards the woman, tearing her in half. He then grabs the sword and makes it rain with blood. Everyone else has lost their motivation. The 9 dragons have been defeated in the blink of an eye. They run away, but Dako is not in the mood to let any survivors escape. He looks at one and tears him apart with his blade. Soon only bodies lie behind him, but just then, the captain arrives and swings his sword, asking if he really is the sword demon. Now that he's shown his true skills, he won't be satisfied without getting a taste. The captain continues to overwhelm Dako. Dako is running on fumes at this point. Killing those weak escorts was boring, and he's glad he gets to face our powerful opponent. Dako wonders if he's responsible for killing the escorts and kidnapping Tsunai. The captain laughs. So what? He'll also tear Dako limb from limb in front of the brat. He swings his blade, but Dako vanishes like a phantom. The captain wonders if he's scared of his swordmanship, but the bastard hasn't realized that he's been torn to pieces already. Only Hong and the attendant are left. The attendant bows to his knees, saying that they are an elite unit. The squad leaders and the hall masters and even the Blood 9 dragons have been taken down by a single man. Hong, on the other hand, is still full of himself, as expected, of the blood demon. He looks at Dako walking through the pile of corpses and smiles. Looks like he's run out of his precious energy, and can he even lift a sword? He twitches his finger and lifts a sword with his telekinesis. The head of the greatest enemy will look good on his resume. He wonders how much the Alliance will pay for it. Looking at Dako's aura farming in front of the Blood Moon, Dako stands in front of a pile of corpses once again. There's not much time left. He's only got a little gas in the tank, but he needs to hold on longer for Tsunai. He grabs his blade and zooms towards the trio, but the captain also intercepts his strike. Hong smiles. It's his turn. And where did all that momentum go just now? He tells Tsunai to open her eyes and see the epic battle that's going to unfold. Dako, on the other hand, is at his wit's end. He tries to strike Hong, but he's too powerful for his current state. Dako unleashes another flurry of bows towards him, but Hong just deflects each one with his blade, teasing him for not using his sword technique anymore. This shameless bastard has the gall to go against a dying man. Hong laughs that there's no true energy left in his body. It's a miracle he's even standing. He can imagine how nice his head would look on a platter served to the Mirim Alliance. Hong will be a well-known figure throughout the heavens and the earth. Dako tells the loud bastard to stop running his mouth and start running the fade. The man just laughs, telling Dako that if he survives the next attack, he'll get his acknowledgement. He unleashes a flurry of strikes towards Dako, each one the speed of a bullet. He's an opponent Dako can't defeat without internal energy. He needs to gather true energy to replace his inner energy, no matter what. The man laughs, telling Dako to try to block it, and Dako's vision is starting to blur. His inner energy is almost completely dry, but he's running on willpower alone. He yells that he will protect Tsunai no matter what. The man just laughs, calling him a crazy bastard. His inner energy is already gone, and yet he's still squeezing out the last blow. Dako is being overwhelmed, but he would rather die than accept defeat. A strange dark steam rises from his body, and Hong realizes this bastard's body is on fire. He's literally burning his circuits and his blood vessels to gain energy. He's a dead man walking on fumes. Dako laughs, telling him to stop running his mouth and start running the fade. Dako lashes towards Hong, sword in hand, and burning fury in his eyes. Hong manages to deflect it with his own sword, and Dako wonders where all those promises go, the one he made to kill him. Hong yells that he has no chance against him, but Dako reminds him that he is up against the Red Lotus Sword Demon. This unnerves Hong, and he throws Dako away, telling him not to be so arrogant. Dako skids to a halt, using his sword. he looks at Hong, standing there. Dako decides to twist and burn every circuit and blood vessel he has to gather true energy. Recovering his body is no longer possible, so he only has one chance. Hong just laughs, asking if he really has that strength left. It looks like he can't even perform a single breathing technique anymore, but Dako just smirks. Someone like him doesn't deserve any of his breathing techniques. He tells Hong to go ahead and give him his best shot. This infuriates Hong. He calls him an arrow-cut bastard, promising to end his life with a barrage of swords floating in his domain. He tells Dako that these swords will be the end of him, and all of the swords turn into pythons. Dako manages to deflect most of them, but he is still grazed every now and then. He continues to deflect each strike while Hong zones in, ready to bring an end to his existence as the sword demon. But Dako gets ready to intercept that blow. He promises to cut him down, even if it means ending his life right here and right now. He yells, with the last ounce of his energy, to unleash 13 swords of Dako. 7th form, the Python Strike. They both zoom towards each other, one cloaked in ethereal energy, another in a dying mass of energy. The swords collide, sending sparks everywhere, and just then, Hong realizes that he slipped up. Dako sails past him, with a trail of blood bursting out of Hong's body. He finally breathes a sigh of relief. As steam curls off his body, he looks at the attendant, trying to be pleasant, promising to lay down the sword if he can live. Dako doesn't even bother answering with words. He answers by throwing a sword at his head. He then looks at Sunai and smiles, telling her to open her eyes. Sunai's eyes are shimmering with tears. He just hugs her and unties her. She was so scared and started wailing, asking if he was hurt. They need to get back to the agency so he can be treated, but Dako knows that there's no going back from what he did. His eyes are empty, and bags are under them. He gently asks Sunai if she can go down alone. Sunai realizes what he's implying, asking why can't they go together. He tells her that she's a smart girl and should be able to go back on her own. He apologizes and also thanks her. Sunai wonders why he is talking this way, but Dako tells her not to look back and run like the wind. Just then, Hong crashes through the rubble. He tells Sunai not to look back anymore, run like the wind, just as the dying buffoon crashes into the building and punches Dako several meters away. Sunai runs away screaming as Dako realizes this idiot is also burning his true energy. Hong grabs Dako's throat, telling Dako that they should go together to hell after all. He is the sword demon and demons belong to hell. He will crush Dako with every breath he takes. He continues to bash Dako against the floor over and over again, asking how long he can hold on. There are no chances of recovery for him anymore. Dako clenches his fist and wants to hold on just a little longer to let Sunai escape safely. Hong, on the other hand, freezes for a moment. Something unexpected has happened. He looks at a small hand rising in front of Dako. Sunai puts herself between Dako and Hong. With tears around her eyes, the brave little girl tells Hong to stop it. Hong just laughs hysterically. How can the little girl be here to die on her own free will? Looks like she has thrown away the final chance Dako gave her to run. Sunai yells that she is going to protect him no matter what, and the buffoon just laughs. How does a brat like her plan on protecting anyone? Does she even know who he is? She is protecting the public enemy of the martial arts world, but she doesn't care if he is a public enemy or not. Right now, he is part of their agency, and he is her friend. Dako is deeply touched by those words. He has never been a part of anything. He was always off-crested as the demon. But right now this girl is pinning her hopes on him. Hong just laughs, telling her to die with her beloved uncle. But Dako tells her to run away. She hugs him, saying that she can't. She can't leave him behind and run away alone. Hong just laughs, gathering energy around his fists, ready to bash them into smithereens. He tells the sword demon to wait for him in hell. He'll be coming a few moments later. Dako realizes that if this keeps up, things will turn south, and Sunai will be caught in the crossfire of the blast. He grits his teeth in frustration, anger, and determination. Steam curling off his skin, he must gather his inner energy once again, even if it costs him his life. He yells at the top of his lungs, eyes burning with bright light. Hong swings his fist with everything he's got, but to his surprise, Dako is nowhere to be seen. He's already scooped up Sunai and skipped a few steps away. He looks at his sword, overflowing with energy. A strange power is coursing through his entire body. He looks at Sunai, telling her to hold on tight. From the moment he survived the battle against the Murim Alliance, he made up his mind to get vengeance. He remembers the day he was falling from the cliff, while the master of the Alliance looked at him. He's been living his days to fulfill his urge for vengeance. But right now, for the first time in his life, he's viewing his second chance to protect something. If it is a regret that he could not fulfill, then so be it. But he must save the child who risked everything, her life, her clan's dignity, to protect him. He promises to protect Sunai with everything he's got. Determination burns in his eyes as he uses Sword of Dako 13th form, Bloody Flowers in full moon, to strike Hong in multiple vital points. Hong grits his teeth in frustration, wondering where this power is coming from. He was supposed to be at the end of his road. He realizes that he can't block it. His body is torn apart by the violent strikes of energy surrounding him, bursting into a crimson lotus. Dako, for the last time in his life, has proved why he is the Lotus Demon, He grabs his sword and huffs in exhaustion, looking at the body fall. He silently prays he doesn't get up again. Tsunai opens her eyes, asking if it's okay, but Dako collapses, his eyes lifeless and his face pale. Tsunai screams to the heavens not to let Mr. die, but only silence greets her in response. The little girl is dragging Dako through the forest, pleading with him not to die, promising never to annoy him again. She'll even stop coming to play with him, only dropping once a week or once every 10 days. She pleads with Dako to open his eyes for the love of everything. Today is her birthday, for God's sake, so please stop joking around and open his eyes. Even though Dako is unresponsive, he can still hear her. He wonders why he is still alive. He clearly burned all the inner energy he's got. He looks at his body, wondering why his circuits are all twisted. He feels the wind brush against his skin. It's the same energy he felt when he used the last bit of his strength. Turns out the power of energy and nature is trying to fill his body. Maybe that's what is keeping him alive. He imagines his body as a void. Humans are also part of great nature. Maybe his inner energy is being replaced by the energy of nature. He tries to give it a try. After all, he has nothing to lose anymore. His body is waiting for death anyway, so he might as well try filling it with energy. He closes his eyes and tries concentrating. Spiderweb-like tendrils of energy glow on his skin. He feels the breath of the earth talk to him. He feels the greater energy filling his organs and guiding the energy into the parts where the twist is very hard. He feels a swirl of energy and feels a burning sensation in his tongue. He feels a swirl of energy and a burning sensation in his torso. It feels as if his entire body is on fire, but he must endure it. His eyes glow with turquoise light, and he turns into something else, something other than the sword demon. In the real world, he opens his eyes and gasps for breath. He looks at Tsunai, asking if she was trying to drag him all the way to the agency like this. It looks like his bottom has been burned off through friction. The little girl cries with relief. She thought that her best friend was dead, but it looks like he's awake. Dako just smiles. He went all the way to the gates of hell but forgot something. She wonders what he forgot, and he brings out 2 blood-stained hairpins, telling her happy birthday. He feels a strange warmth spread through his chest, and it has nothing to do with the newly acquired nature energy. Back at the shed, Dako grabs the hair ornaments with trembling fingers. He's never done anything like this before. Sure, he's carved out a heart with surgical precision, but putting flowers on a girl's head is something he's never done. He holds up a shy bronze bowl, asking if it's okay. She looks at her reflection, and Dako smiles. Tears pool around her eyes and she starts wailing. Dako wonders why she is crying. Does she not like the gift? She wraps her tiny arms around his shoulders, saying that she loves it. She thanks Dako for saving her, for making it out alive, and for making it the best birthday ever. Dako smiles. Clearly, they are both filling a void in each other's hearts. Dako, who was never loved by anything but his sword, and Tsunai, who lost her father on the very day she was supposed to feel special. Later, she excitedly looks at her reflection, posing and looking at Dako. She also wonders what kind of martial artist he is. Dako realizes that the cat is out of the bag. Tsunai remembers hearing the bad man talk about him, how they were shaking in their boots and calling him a monster. Dako realizes he cannot hide it anymore. Right now, he is nothing more than a starving public enemy of the Murim world. The reaction he gets from Tsunai is the exact opposite of what he expected. She excitedly asks how he is a public enemy, and says he must be really famous. Is his name fake as well? Dako reveals that he is Dako from the Dako family. She remembers hearing the name. Isn't that a famous martial arts family? Their members are supposed to be famous and rich. So why is he not asking his parents for help? Dako clenches his fist, telling her that he has no such thing as parents. They are nothing but people trying to kill him. He apologizes for hiding his identity. He too was burdened by his identity, and if it is too much, he can leave. Tsunai gently grabs his hand, telling Mr. not to worry. Public enemy or not, she will keep him hidden safely. After all, they are friends. Dako smiles warmly. The little girl asks for a favor in return. She wants to learn powerful martial arts, hidden moves that no one else knows about. She never wants to be kidnapped again. Dako knows that it must have been traumatizing for the little girl, and she does not want it to happen again, but he cannot blindly agree to it. He decides to think about it until the current situation is sorted out. That is enough for Tsunai for now. It is not a no. Dako then wonders what she will say about how she got back to the agency. Tsunai smiles, telling Dako that she has the IQ of a genius. Dako wonders what her story is going to be. She decides that only she knows about his true identity, since he took care of all the bastards from the Snake Hall, and dead men tell no tales. So there is little chance of anyone knowing that he is the Sword Demon. They can say that they were never taken to the Sword Snake Hall. No one will have to know what happened over there. She will just say that she was not kidnapped. She got lost in the forest while the uncles were fighting. They need to get their story straight so that his existence is not revealed. For a few days, people are going to debate how the Blood Snake Hall was wiped out, but they will start thinking about the Green Forest sect. They are also a cruel sect, and they are currently gathering power so people will just think it was a tough war between them. Besides, the Green Forest sect will not disagree with the rumors if it means street cred. Dako smiles, terrified at how amazing she is at forming strategies. Is she the same kid who was crying her eyes out a few moments ago? Sunai smiles, telling Mr. to gather some information about the Blood Hall for her. She will also go to the agency and think about how to deal with the Dragon Clan later. Dako smiles, promising to bring back good intel. Upon returning safely to the agency, everyone is moved to tears, especially Grandpa. She claims that she fled from the captors just like they had discussed, putting an end to the kidnapping incident. Dako, on the other hand, is walking through the streets in a cloak. He is trying to gather information about the Dragon Sect. According to Sunai, they will deal with them on a later date. Right now, he needs to gather information about the Blood Hall. He decides to visit an inn. After all, the best gossip is shared over there. He hears everyone talking about the rumors surrounding Blood Snake Hall. The ruthless bastards were killed and wiped off the face of the earth. Even the leader was slaughtered like a damned swine. Maybe it was a strike from the Murim Alliance, but some suspect that the Green Forest clan is behind it. The Forest King has been gathering forces around them. It is only natural for the Snake Hall to fall. They say that the Forest King is really incredible. Dako sips his wine. Later, he walks through the rain and comes to a tree stump that he uses for practice. He gathers energy around him. Bright blue tendrils of energy flicker around his wrist, and with a burst, he cracks open the trunk like a walnut. He is regaining his energy and moving on the path of the sword beam once again. Back at the agency, John, a pavilion master of the Murim Alliance, is here. Grandpa thanks them for the visit, introducing himself as the head of the agency. He knew that there must be a personal request for the agency. John reveals that something has happened to the Blood Snake Hall. They were completely wiped out, and the request involves the fact that he was in charge of investigating the site. He wants to entrust the agency with the cleanup duties. He wants the agency to go to the Blood Hall, recover the bodies, and burn them. It is a grueling task, but he will pay 2 silver coins per person. He mobilizes quickly, and Grandpa's attendant whispers that these terms are incredible for them. Since the Murim clan is in the middle of an investigation, they do not want any questions. The agency just needs to get on it. Grandpa smiles. He is grateful that the Murim Alliance is entrusting them with a job. John excitedly bangs his hands on the table. It looks like everything is set. They should take the request as soon as possible, but Grandpa corrects him. They are not taking the request. Jong freezes, asking if his ears are deceiving him. Is this old grandpa refusing a request from the Murim Alliance? Is he sure he won't regret it? The chief advisor of Grandpa tells the pavilion master to excuse them for a moment. They need to get a verdict and discuss the condition. He later talks with the agency head, asking if he is out of his mind. Ever since the deal with the Dragon Gate fell through, the agency's finances have been poor. Why would he make such an excellent request? Grandpa's conflict. The Blood Snake Hall is responsible for the attack. Their men died at their hands, and not only are they asked to recover their bodies, but cremate them as well. It's too much. The advisor tells Grandpa that he's not thrilled about it either, but they can use the reward money from the request to generously support the families of the fallen. Wouldn't that be more meaningful? And besides, as agency head, he used to serve in the military, and every time they won the battle, they used to gather the bodies of the fallen and cremate them. Is there anything shameful about it? Grandpa is taken aback. He tells the advisor that his words get better every day. He's talked him into accepting the request. How can he refuse to help the heroes and their families by taking out the request? Grandpa also thanks the advisor for helping him make the right decision in a time of urgency. It is a mentally taxing job, so he will assign this to only those who volunteer. Dako hears them and smiles. Looks like the agency will be busy with the Murim Alliance's request. Back at Blood Snake Hall, the agency is busy recovering the bodies, piling them in body bags. Everyone at the agency volunteered. Surprisingly, Jong tells the agency head to step back. He'll handle it, but being an excellent leader, he also joins the effort to complete the request. Sunai is also busy cooking up food for everyone. Dako knows that everyone is busy working hard, and if that's the case, then it's the perfect opportunity to wipe out the Dragon Spring Gate. The agency is working under the watchful eye of the Murim Alliance, so whatever happens elsewhere, suspicion won't fall on their agency. Plus, he's observed the Murim Alliance all day, and there are no elders capable of recognizing him. Chael asks Dako what he is doing. Why is he dilly-dallying around? Dako says that he is just getting it done. He also remembers Keel going on a visit to his hometown. Why is he back? The burly man laughs. He wouldn't miss out on a heavy lifting duty for anything, and it sucks what happened to the agency while he was away, but they need to make the best of the situation. Jong is also relieved that his bro is back. Whatever the lunatic did must have been really powerful. They tore the bodies of these scumbags to pieces. He wants to see their faces to know if they're even human. He asks Dako why he is staring at the horizon. Jong also remarks that Dako is really strong. He is piling bodies as if they weigh only a few grams. He's working twice as hard as everyone else. Dako knows that he's rushing it so that he can take care of his other business. Sunai waves her ladle, telling everyone that the food is ready. Everyone lines lines up and Dako brings his portion of food. Kiel is surprised to see that his steam buns are bigger and his portion is overall larger. He wonders why. Turns out being friends with the head chef, Sun-ai, and the manager has its merits. Dako, on the other hand, is not hungry. He tells them to eat his share as well. His stomach is acting up, and he needs to sneak off and rest. They need to cover for him. Instead of resting, he zooms through the mountain, bursting towards Dragon Gate. The Blood Hall base and the Dragon Gate are not that far apart, but making a round trip in 2 hours is possible for anyone but him. If he applies the movement technique and uses the natural energy in his body as thrusters to shoot towards the Dragon Gate, then he can make it. Meanwhile, the leader of the Dragon Gate is crashing out. How blood snakes were wiped out. And with that, Vang is also walking around in broad daylight. How were they supposed to wage war against the Plum Agency now? He yells. What happened to the 1,000 silver coins they paid up front? Who is going to mess with the agency now? One of the advisors tells the leader that they are not sure who wiped out the Snake Clan, but to cover their losses, they need to double the protection fee from the merchants in their territory. The leader, being a scumbag, decides to triple the fee. With those funds, he will join the unorthodox faction and use Black Dragon Society to wipe out the agency. He will eliminate that eyesore of an agency once and for all. And swallow their estate and commercial rights. The Muramalans have taken their money and abandoned them. It is the only way they can recover the funds they invested. Just then, Dako bursts through. They wonder who he is, but he tells them not to mind him. He is just someone from the Blood Blossom Agency. The leader stutters, asking why a damned porter is over here. Dako, on the other hand, is ready to settle debts. Energy blazes around his fists. He tells the leader to end his schemes right here and right now. 2 members of the clan try to jump at him, but Dako intercepts the first with his fist and throws him several meters away. He then comes to the leader, who asks what the hell he is talking about. Dako starts citing his crimes. Lying a hand on a young girl is the biggest crime he has committed, and for that, he must die. He grabs the leader's throat and crushes it. The leader tells him to wait. He's too good to be stuck in that agency. If he wants money and power, he should join the Dragon Clan. But Dako just gives him free plastic surgery. He tells the damned leader to repent for his sins, and yet he is still running his tongue. The leader laughs. Does he really think that killing Blood Dragon Gate is enough to keep the agency safe? The leader of the agency is now old, and everyone is eyeing their commercial rights and properties. They have survived so long because of his wisdom, but there's a line of people waiting to get their hands on the agency. No matter how strong Vang is on his own, he won't be able to defend against a horde of greedy goblins. The future of that weak estate is plain as day. Dako silences him once and for all and leaves the estate burning. Even though the bitter relationship between Dragon Gate and Plum Agency has come to an end, he needs to take the leader's words seriously. He needs to do everything he can to keep the agency safe. He finally makes it back to the site. Everyone greets him, and he decides to prepare for their sake. Thanks for watching. Check out this next video, and remember to subscribe Annie Zap.